Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at Tru Heel Heat. Yeah!
Hey guys, it's Rosa and welcome to Tru Heel Heat.
What's up, Tru Heel Heat? Tru Heel Heat.
What's up? Tru Heel Heat. All hands on me.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with Tru Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching Tru Heel Heat podcast.
We are 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, and the injury bug is all around the world of wrestling, including a career-threatening neck injury for Kevin Owens, forcing him out of the big show in 2 weeks' time in Las Vegas. We got injuries over in AEW with Switchblade Jay White forced out of the Owen Hart Cup. Orange Cassidy is injured. Mark Davis is injured. But there is light at the end of the tunnel for some. Ray Phoenix debuted on Friday Night SmackDown last night. Kevin the Jet Knight debuted on AEW and signed a new deal. He is all elite. And Rusev Day is back in WWE as he re-signs with the company. We got a lot to discuss, including last night's Friday Night SmackDown with CM Punk's favor for Paul Heyman revealed, as well as one of the most cringeworthy promo segments in modern wrestling history. We're going to discuss all of that, plus much, much more. This is the Flagship Podcast. Grab your plates. The Saturday night morning cookout is here. Let's hit the intro. Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Tru Heel Heat 323 heartbreaking injuries on Rusev Day. Discussing the latest wrestling news, including Kevin Owens being seriously injured and reportedly out for his WrestleMania 41 matchup with Randy Orton, now confirmed. Rusev re-signs with WWE after leaving AEW. Major injuries for AEW as well, with Jay White, Orange Cassidy, Mark Davis all sidelined. A recap of this week in wrestling featuring WWE Raw on Netflix from London with John Cena and Cody Rhodes' epic promo exchange, as well as Gunther murdering Jimmy Uso in front of Jey Uso. SmackDown with CM Punk's favor revealed for WrestleMania, as well as it was a train wreck. Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton's face-to-face promo exchange. NXT with Stephanie Vaquer relinquishing the NXT Women's North American Championship and Ricky Saint winning the North American Championship for the men. AEW Dynamite with Swerve Strickland admitting he deserved everything Hangman Adam Page did to him, and Jon Moxley and the Death Riders attacking him before Dynasty. Collision with Athena returning to Mercedes Mone. ROH TV. We had NJPW Sakura Genesis this morning. I can't do the boss dog. I can't do my boss dog celebration because Goto's revolution is continuing. Great for you guys. TNA Impact with NXT's Ethan Page returning to face Joe Hendry and Frankie Kazarian for the world title at Rebellion. And final predictions for tomorrow night's AEW Dynasty, plus much more. And of course, we have the OG trio here. The trio is back with you. Of course, we had the princess of all the Tru Heels, our tribal queen herself, Miss Krssi Love, with her hair looking good. All right, I see you, Krssi. I see you.
What's happening, peeps? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Happy Saturday, peeps. It's raining, shitty. It's over here. It's terrible. Spring, you know. How's it over there on your side of town, SP?
I think it is fine. I went out earlier and did my garbage duty for the house, and it was looking sunny. It was sunny out here in the UK, so we're not as rainy as we usually are here. And of course, we got the third member of the team, the true draw himself, the harshest critic on the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast, Mr. Josh. How are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm doing good. Been having some internet issues, so bear with me. I might have to go in and out on certain Wi-Fi's. But as you said before to me about being the harshest critic, I have so much to say.
I missed a lot, so I'll be learning a lot today. So let's see what happens.
Oh, there's a lot to discuss. There's a lot to discuss from this week.
You missed a lot. Oh man.
This is even better.
You missed one fantastic episode. I'll tell you that much.
Which show?
I will say though, I know he's gonna be harsh on it. This was probably the best 3-hour SmackDown because I had so many things going through my head, like I could not go to sleep. Usually I'm like out on SmackDown after when the second hour starts. I'm like, all right, you got about like 30 minutes before I'm gonna go to sleep. But man, between the great main event from last night, as well as one of the most cringeworthy train wreck segments I've ever seen, I could not go to sleep. I literally was talking to everybody. I was in the Tru Heel Heat chat talking to you guys. I was talking to Jimmy Macarim, talking to him about it. I was talking to Rick Uchino about it. I was talking to Alex McCarthy and Sat E. Nyangi. They messaged me before I even woke up when they saw everything that happened. But yeah, I will say
Alex is on vacation and he's still messaging you.
He messaged me at like 7 a.m. this morning. I was still asleep, but 7 a.m. my time. Okay, all right. That's Harlem screaming at me. See, we're off to a great start. We're off to a great start today. We appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. You could drop the thumbs up on this video. You could share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. We've been doing a lot of content, whether it be our live streams, our shorts this week. We had a lot of shorts from me going to the O2 Arena for Friday Night SmackDown last Friday, as well as this past Monday for Monday Night Raw. So thank you to all the support for our shorts, as well as our recaps on NXT that we usually do. Shout outs to Chris G for that. So appreciate all that support. But of course, if you're with us live, we want to hear from all of you. Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast is our most interactive podcast of the week. So we try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to get back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel and our flagship podcast, you can send a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here. And we always appreciate the support. We're gonna make sure we highlight any of the super chats that we get today, because if we hit our goal, we got something nice for y'all. We're gonna do some Q&A. I think it's either gonna be after this show or next week, because we've been shuffling around some stuff, because I know we're going to do a call-in episode because we hit our goal last week. We're going to try to do that. I'm going to listen to Vala B's suggestion, since Vala B helped us out a lot with last week's goal. We're going to try to do that for the flagship podcast after WrestleMania, so we can have a bunch of y'all come on and share your thoughts on the WrestleMania card. We'll have like little intervals, 5-minute intervals for a couple of y'all to come on the show and join us. That will be our call-in episode there. We have a special guest for our WrestleMania flagship edition of the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. I'll probably reveal that next week, though, and maybe we'll have a guest for next week. But next week, either this week or next week, we'll do our Q&A episode. We'll do the Q&A after the flagship episode. So we appreciate all the support. You guys have been helping us hit our goals all week long and the last couple of weeks here on the flagship. So we always appreciate the support. We got some trash talk in the chat already waiting for us with a super chat donation from Genesis J, who said, "Laugh my fucking ass off. See ya April 6th," with the laughing face emoji. That is strictly a super chat to troll me, because I am the number one. Yes, I'm the number one David Finlay supporter here on the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast, and Genesis J is the number one David Finlay hater in the chat, along with our very own J News on our New Japan coverage. He also hates David Finlay. So tomorrow will be fun for Sakura Genesis review when it's me, Sanal, and J News. I'm sure Genesis Day will be in there to troll us then as well, because the Goto revolution continues. It was unfair. He had an unfair advantage. He had Yoshihashi and his kids in his corner. Unfair advantage. I'm just going to say that before we get into things. We got Eric Isaac in the chat joining us today. Good to see you, good brother. He says, "Hey, THH fam, another wild week of wrestling continues. And get well wishes to Orange Cassidy, Jay White, and Kevin Owens." Yeah, it's been a bad week when it comes to injuries. The injury bug is, I said it in our group chat. I was like,
I told you someone put a hex on them. They until you do right by me, the Sealy one. Somebody did something.
So,
I'm telling you.
So fuck Mark Davis too, huh? Right? You ain't say well wishes to Mike Davis. He got injured too. The fuck?
Well, he's saying he only has a few characters to get everything in. So he said the bigger stars. Sorry.
Oh no.
But no.
You know he's the one that be writing like a whole paragraph like, "Oh my god, amazing week." Like he had enough.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We got Davion in the chat. Good to see you, good brother. He says, "What's up, THH fam? We have got to talk about that Tiffany and Charlotte segment. That went left really quickly, LOL."
Okay, so I must add, that's one thing I need to go back and watch. Okay,
well, that's an understatement. That's a real
All right, let me try to go
understatement
find
at
it
all.
now.
It
Let
went
me see. Hold on. Let me try to prep myself really quickly.
Yeah, I literally sent it to my missus,
Can you
and
send it
she
to me,
said
please? Send it to me,
she
please.
said it was, she even said I will read it what she told me. I sent it to her. I guess like I sent it to her last night because I knew she was asleep, so I knew she would wake up to it. And I said, "Want to see the most cringeworthy wrestling promo in a while?" She said, "Sure." Her first response after watching it: "Awful. Women's wrestling is garbage these days." she was
like,
she was
damn.
What?
She
Damn.
did preference. She just preference. I meant WWE, not in general.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, girl, like we got a lot of
She
Okay.
was not because she's been watching the last couple of she watched the 2 episodes at the O2 because Harlem and Sydney wanted to watch it. And our producer, if you're sending her the YouTube version, that's not the full version. That's not the full version. You have to go on social media to get the full version because I think YouTube they cut out the shoot parts of it, if I'm not mistaken.
So
I don't
gotta
know
go
if
on
you're
like
sending her.
IG or
Yeah, I
something
think
like that.
No, they did.
I'm not sure.
They did. All the personal shots they removed it. So you're gonna get like a full edited video. So you're not gonna see the whole thing on the WWE one. You legit got to go on X. And I know somebody did post the full segment on X. Yeah,
I sent it to our WhatsApp chat. I'm not. Yeah, I think
You awesome.
even on the WWE account and WWE on USA, I don't know if they put the full version of it. They may have cut it off at a certain point. If it's not the full 7 minute segment, then yeah, that's probably them editing it out because I know on a bunch of their social accounts they've edited out the personal shots that were taken in this program. We got Power Driver Finisher in the chat. He says so much damn acting feds got Brett right where they want him. I didn't even put this in the agenda because I didn't think it was necessary. But yeah, Bret Hart this week was complaining about the current state of pro wrestling, saying there's too much acting going on, not real actors, not real wrestlers. And he said AEW, a whole bunch of guys are acting like wrestlers. They're not really doing stuff. And then he says, yeah, I like real work weight. I like guys that are trying to give back to the older generation. I like Roman Reigns. I was like, Brett, you don't know how dumb that sounds.
He does. Like I'm about to say, Brett, you got. So you, I don't know. Like he's old. Like
yeah, I was disappointed with
couple of
that
headshots too many.
because it was just because it's like the criticism he tried to give. It's like it doesn't make any sense because like at least with AEW, you see more wrestling than AEW programming. In WWE,
Absolutely.
they don't focus on that. It's always about,
right.
It's always about like, oh, cinema this, cinema that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was kind of just ironic that he was saying bullshit like that. And I love Brett. Brett is like one of the realest guys in the business, but that just sounded like a complete like, hey, wait, I have a WWE Legends contract. Let me try to shut on AEW as much as possible. That's how it came out to me.
Yeah, that's what it kind of did feel like that, or
Wait,
like.
I'm sorry. Why they got the same outfit on?
Exactly. You didn't. I think I was the first one who mentioned that. I was like, way too heavy-handed. Them wearing the same outfit. You got to put us on mute so you can actually hear what they're saying.
I'm going to. I just clicked it and it just popped up and they're standing there and I'm like, it's already bad that these both are. They look so much alike. You don't have to.
No, you know what I want you to do? I want you to turn it up, listen to it, but when you want to react, pause it, and then you could unmute and give us your reaction to certain stuff. We're doing a live watch along as we start the show with Miss Krssi Love watching that segment from last night. We got Chilling with Chase who says best wishes to Kevin Owens. Absolutely heartbreaking injury. We're going to talk about that on today's show as well. Power Driver Finisher says Power Driver Finisher is basically Romeo's burner account at this point. He says loving these Charlotte promos and hey, yeah, it's a terrible ass promo. Okay, he's not Romeo's burner account. He's probably Romeo without the four locos responding, saying, yeah, hey, yeah, it's a terrible ass promo because they're all firing from the hip, but I think it's 100% learning experience. Isn't it necessary? No, but I think if Tiffy can overcome, she's good in my opinion.
No, stop that bullshit. Like, I'm not going for that. Like, I'm really not going for that. Like, honestly, yeah, last night was just fucking awful. It was fucking awful. And to try to say like, oh, you know, it was probably bad because they were shooting. No, because there's so many times that we've seen shoot promos and they were not yesterday bad. Like, let's cut that out because, you know, it's to a point. It's like Charlotte should fucking know better at the end of the day. And now, if you were not a wrestling fan and you was to watch the promo, you would not even realize like, oh, hey, who's the 15-year veteran in this? That's how bad it was.
Yeah, Charlotte was awful last night. Like, there's no objective way to say. And you can say I'm loving these Charlotte promos. What promo? She stopped her promo mid promo because she got flustered by getting booed out the building. It was awful.
She got Logan Paul. Like, she got the Logan Paul treatment.
It honestly feels like a bunch of fans have decided to gaslight other fans who are objectively saying this is terrible, and they're like, no, but the terribleness is good to watch. It's entertaining to watch. It's like, no, you have just been brainwashed to enjoy terrible shit.
Okay, so
and then, you know, yeah, and then yesterday I compared it to like Madam Web, right? When Madam Web, it's a bad movie. The movie is fucking awful. But at least I could watch the movie and laugh because like that's how bad it was. Yesterday, that's what that was yesterday. And to me, if you think that that's a good thing, it's not a good thing. That's really a bad thing. Like, I could watch it again because it's for entertainment value because of how bad and cringe it was. That doesn't make it good at all.
So now everyone is booing Charlotte and they're cheering for Tiffany. She could barely get a word out right now. Okay. Yeah. Carry on. Excuse me.
Yep. You're just getting started. You're just getting started with how that's gonna fall apart. We got another super chat donation here from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, "Good morning, THH fam. So Ray has finally arrived in WWE, but even his arrival can't fix the debacle that is the two dumb blondes, SMH. And I ask you, who besides maybe Romeo is climbing into Charlotte's DMs? LOL. I just say, dude, I literally messaged the Tru Heel Heat chat and Jimmy Macaram when Charlotte came out, and I was like, what the fuck is she wearing? And I'm not one to judge anybody's fit. I don't have good fashion sense at all, but I know bad fashion. Like, I was so like, what is going on? What are we doing? We got RP Jesus talking about this morning, and thank you so much, Chuck Berries. That was a big super chat donation. We appreciate that. RP Jesus saying Sonata is a faction hoe. Yes, Sonata is homie hopping at the best sense. He's been in 4 factions in 2 years. That's 2 every year. That's ridiculous. We also got Call Me Mr. Bonda saying electricity just came back here. It's been gone for 23 hours. Damn, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. He says, I was beyond pissed off, but I'm glad I now get to officially start my day with Tru Heel Heat with the sweat emoji, prayers hands emoji, and heart emoji. Thank you so much, Mr. Bonda, for joining us today. We also got here, Bell is in the chat joining us this morning. Good to see you. Cyclops is better than Wolverine, says it's a day later and I'm still uncomfortable about that Charlotte Tiffany segment. Oh man. We got Chillwood Chase. He says my girlfriend hated Charlotte Tiffany segment. Mine too.
Okay. Okay. Wait, hold on.
Go ahead, Krssi.
Okay, so Charlotte's outfit is not that bad. If she didn't have the neck piece on looking like Madonna, I feel like in the early 2000s, it was an era. If you had to be there, it wouldn't be that bad of an outfit. Now, they both have on the same type of pants, just one is longer than the other, like they're in a girl group. No problem. The fact that Tiffany calls her and says, "Oh, she said something about Ric Flair," and then Charlotte's rebuttal was, "Oh, you're saying that for the last 10 years, people have said the same shit." Girl, yeah, they're both bad. Like, one is not worse than they're both bad. Like, you can't even shit on Charlotte because they're both terrible. I'll be back.
Oh, we got Chilla with Chase says, my girlfriend is a complete casual and she is all, what does this do for the match? Absolutely. I said this about the sit-down interview. I said this about the sit-down interview as well. I had the same energy for the sit-down interview. We got Davion showing some love to KO, saying KO put on some of the best matches of this year with a messed up neck, wishing a speedy recovery to the prize fighter. It makes that bump, that Alabama slam through the ladder at Raw Rumble even more like, God damn, bro. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that at all. We'll also talk about Robbie Fox of My Mom's Basement. He had an interview that dropped with Kevin Owens this morning that shed a little bit more light on Owens' injury. So I'll bring that up when we get to that as well. We got T5 the Great, who says, I was surprised Charlotte got shook like that. Yeah. Power driver finisher, dude, like, it's okay. You're gonna die on that hill. You're gonna die on the hill, but you don't have to come up with excuses. If you liked it, you liked it. You just don't know how to explain that you liked it because it was awful. It was bad. It's okay to be bad. You can say that you like bad wrestling promos, and that's cool. That's cool as well, I guess. I don't know. Not my cup of tea. We got Chilling with Chase, who says Charlotte rage quit so hard. Yes, he did. You said it last night, Josh. She's like, she crashed out on live TV.
No, like, yo, but it was it's not even. It's almost like, what the fuck just happened? You know, like, I was kind of just like, because honestly, in my mindset, it wasn't even like, oh, like, I hope this is good. I knew it was going to be bad, but it was just like a matter of like, all right, how bad it was going to be. And holy shit, it was like, it was probably lower than I expected. But I'm like, God, what the fuck? And, you know, people are like, you know, I think what it is too is that a lot of people are on this, like, you know, Charlotte hate train, that they're like, oh, you know, Tiffany demolished her, or she, like, you know, destroyed her. Tiffany wasn't that much better. Like, Tiffany looked better. Like, you know, if you're talking about like who won, Tiffany won, but she didn't look that much better because there was times where Tiffany herself did stumble, and like you could tell, like the babyface stuff is just not. It's not it for her. Like, it's really not. And yesterday was a point of that. Like, you know, when she was trying to use the whole aspect of like, oh, you know, Charlotte, you've been battling the fans your whole career, and it's never gonna, like, you know, that's always a battle that she's always gonna lose or some shit. And then the Ric Flair line, it was just like, to me personally, I felt like if she would have take out Ric Flair and maybe use like a Becky Lynch, maybe that line would have hit harder to me. Because for me, it was just like Ric Flair. Like, I know that's her dad, and you know, he's 6-time world champion, but I was just like, I was like, okay, like, cool, like, that was the best you got when it comes to that. I don't know. It was just like, oof. It was not good on both ends, in my opinion. Like, you know, if we're talking about a winner who won, Tiffany won by default. It wasn't that big of a margin, in my opinion. It was just that because Charlotte is a veteran and she looked absolutely worse. People were looking. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, I don't know. To me, it was just not. It has not been good for both ladies, and it hasn't been good for different reasons.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I respect all opinions, but dude, come on. Seal says fans ruining Tiff's first Mania for real. This should be dope as fuck. The fans are the last person to blame
right.
for all
They
of
are
this.
such
Triple H,
trolls.
first
They
of
are
all,
such
Triple H
fucking trolls.
has horribly booked this whole rivalry. Second of all, Charlotte Flair has not give a fuck this whole rivalry except for shooting and going off script. Like that, it is not the fans ruining Tiff's first WrestleMania. You need to blame Triple H or Charlotte Flair. Those are the first two people you should blame way before the fans. The fans are reacting to what they've been given, which has been one of the worst built WrestleMania world title matches of all time. And I am saying that as someone who lived through and hated Triple H versus Booker T ahead of WrestleMania 19. But somehow that is better than what we're getting here.
No, and it's it's just you're gonna blame the fans for Tiffany ruining Tiffany's first. She's ruining it herself because she's not a good baby face. I'm sorry. Like, let's call it like it is. She's not good as a baby face. And part of it is not her fault, but then when you're given the ball, you got to take it. And so far, she's fumbled as a baby face.
Well,
it's not been good. It's not been good. Yeah,
I mean, if you got to pick a winner, I don't think anyone won. To be honest, I think they were both terrible.
Yeah, I'm saying like Tiffany won by default because Tiffany had like better lines and she did say certain things. That's all I'm saying because Charlotte didn't do nothing. Charlotte didn't do shit.
She was like
that's what I'm saying.
I can't hear you.
And like, and then yes, I even said it yesterday. I was just like, yeah, but I was like, to me, when people were trying like, Tiffany, I was like, no, it was not that. It was just not that. It was by default. Like if you had to give a winner, that's what it was. I'm not saying she won by much. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just it was more bad for one person than the other. That's all I'm saying.
That's really what it is.
Only one of them felt like they just gave up. Like Charlotte just gave up. She literally says in the promo, "What do you guys want me to say?" That's when you know she just gave up.
Because I don't think she thought that she would be booed like that. And I guess they're booing her because she is the heel now or whatever. When she probably thought that she would have been the face. But anywho, nevertheless, the booing, she got the Dominic effect. She got the Logan Paul effect. She barely can say a word without them just like booing her out the building. And I feel like that's when the fans are being trolls.
But we're going to get into that and last night's SmackDown in a bit here. Of course, we're going to start off every flagship podcast shouting out all of you supporting us across social media and here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, as well as over on Patreon with our Tru Heel roll call. First off, we got our top 3 conversation starters, our Tru Heel Trinity over on our Facebook group page. You got Mike Law, you got Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting, and Suey John Palmer once again. Our Patreon backers, you got Vala B, you got Alan Weinstein, Negro Buck, Nick Jackson, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Trey, Robert, Steve, Ladarius, John, aka Russell Scopes, Dan, Kobe, Dolores, John Martin, Marcus Ryan, James, Alan, and Santo. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best way to support us when we are not live here. But without further ado, we've talked about it a bunch to start this show. Let's get into last night's Friday Night SmackDown. Last night's Friday Night SmackDown took place from Chicago, Illinois. So, of course, it had to kick off with CM Punk kicking off the broadcast in his hometown of Chicago to a huge ovation from the fans. He cut a fired-up babyface promo about getting his WrestleMania main event and always being told, you're not supposed to be here, but proving everyone wrong. This brought out the number one CM Punk supporter, Paul Heyman, who asks politely for one more favor from Punk to let him know the favor that he needed for WrestleMania before Roman Reigns gets there. However, Punk wanted to wait until Roman was there. Later in the show, the tribal chief Roman Reigns came down to the ring to a big pop of his own, calling out Punk, but he got Seth Rollins instead, who said he was there to see Roman's face when Punk reveals his favor. Punk came out and brought up when Heyman was fired in 2006, back when he was running ECW, and a young CM Punk was his prize protege, and he told him when he gets to where he should be, which is the main event of WrestleMania, make them deal with us. And he said that he also told him that same thing back in 2013. Punk said that since they aren't here anymore, then Roman has to deal with us instead. Punk's favor is having Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns' wise man, in his corner in the main event of WrestleMania 41. Reigns laughed and wanted Heyman to turn down Punk nicely, turn him down easy. But Paul refused with tears in his eyes until Roman got really pissed at him. Roman looked like he was gonna put his hands on Heyman, but Punk attacked him from behind with the microphone. He then delivered the go to sleep to stand tall as Heyman stood on distress with his whole predicament, and Seth Rollins laughed his fucking ass off.
Damn, I missed it. Damn it. I gotta go see that. Oh my God. I would love to see it.
Great segment.
Okay.
But on the other end of the spectrum, you had Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton, who had an absolute train wreck of a face-to-face promo exchange where Chicago booed Charlotte out of the damn building, making her refuse to finish her promo until Tiffany Stratton took some shots at Flair for her multiple divorces, saying that Flair is 4-3 at WrestleMania, but after this year's event, she's gonna be like she is in real life, alone, and brought up her record of marriages being 0-3. Oh shit!
I didn't know she was married. I thought it was 2. Damn.
No, 3 times. Charlotte responded by saying, "That's why Kaiser is in my DMs to end this disaster of a segment." As Tiffany Stratton basically no-sold that last line, and yeah, this did not do much for the matchup or either woman. But on the other end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum, we had some good stuff on this show, as well as Jacob Fatu defeated Braun Strowman in an awesome last man standing match to become the #1 contender for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. Earlier in the show, the United States champion LA Knight picked up a victory over Tama Tonga, despite interference from Solo Sikoa. We also had the in-ring debut, WWE debut of Rey Fenix, as he picked up a victory in a fun, fast-paced matchup against NXT Tag Team Champion Nathan Frazier. Post-match, Phoenix cut an emotional promo about being happy to be in WWE. The Motor City Machine Guns beat DIY in a decent little matchup to become the #1 contenders for the WWE tag team titles. They will face the Street Profits. We don't know yet when that match will go down quite yet. Naomi had a matchup with B-Fab, but she was attacked from behind before the matchup by Jade Cargill. She still picked up the victory over B-Fab and then called out Cargill for still standing until Cargill attacked her from behind. This brought out security, which Cargill also beat their asses as well, until SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis made Naomi versus Jade Cargill for WrestleMania 41. That is how you book an effective women's feud on SmackDown, guys. Speaking of all this, speaking of all this, he brought out Kevin Owens to the ring, who announced that he has been dealing with neck issues for the past 4 months and didn't know how serious it was until this week. So now he has to go get surgery, and he must pull himself out of his WrestleMania 41 matchup with Randy Orton. This brought out Randy Orton, who had a nice off the mic exchange with Kevin Owens before he walked to the back. Some stupid stupid ass fan told Owens, "You're still shit." So Owens about to whoop a fan's ass in the crowd. But this brought when Orton came out to the ring, Aldis informed him that now he is out of Mania as his match has now been canceled, which led to Orton delivering the RKO to Nick Aldis, potentially teasing a matchup with the SmackDown general manager instead. Krssi Love, you have now watched the whole Charlotte Flair Tiffany Stratton promo. Your overall thoughts on that train wreck?
Train wreck. Boo, tomato, tomato, as the Isaiah would say. It was bad. It was really bad. I really feel bad for actually both women because they don't deserve this, to be honest. But I have to blame like poor booking. They didn't have a plan for Charlotte when she came back, and it just shows from the beginning and it shows till now, and it's really sad. I don't have confidence that she should win at Mania. It's terrible. I feel bad for her career-wise and personal-wise. Like, it's really sad. And my God, those things Tiffany said to her, I was like, damn. I mean, the worst thing is bringing in real life shit, and she brought in every real life thing that she could imagine. So that's when she said the Kaiser line. Tiffany was like, "Okay, yeah, bitch," like, and walked away.
She did the Samoa Joe walk away spot to her, basically.
Yeah, she just came out and she just got out the ring and just left and just kept pushing. I was like, oh, poor Charlotte. It's very cringy. It was really cringy to hear and watch. But of course, the fans are trolls, especially the ones that was from that show last night.
Well, I mean, they don't like Charlotte. Charlotte comes off very unlikable. Like, it is what it is. Like, I mean, I don't think she can control it at this point, because the original intent of this rivalry, it was quite obvious, was for Charlotte to be the babyface, but that didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are.
Again, this is them not knowing how to book or have a plan for her when she got back.
Yeah. Josh, what did you... Yeah, we're going to talk about that shortly here. Josh, what did you think about the final segment with CM Punk revealing that his favor is Paul Heyman in his corner coming up at WrestleMania 41?
I thought it was a little, at least from my it was a little lackluster.
Wow.
You know, I know they're harboring on to like a promise, like some kind of promise he made like years ago of, well, like, oh, you know, main event WrestleMania, I'll be in your corner. But I don't know. I think I'm like, for 6 months, that was the favor the whole time.
Right.
All right, cool. Like that's what we're doing. Like, so you asked him a favor for something that apparently that was what, almost 10 years ago, and then last 6 months, that's where you're holding on to. I don't know. I thought it'll be something different. I thought it'll be something crazy. Yeah,
I didn't think it would be something crazy. This is basically what I predicted from the beginning. I said that he was not going to be with Roman. He was going to be aligned with Punk. I didn't know if it would be he would turn on him in the matchup, but it makes sense with everything that's happened, with the promise that he made back in 2006 and the promo that they can reference back in 2013. It makes all the world of sense to me, and it also makes sense that he would hold on to that. He would hold that close to the vest for 6 months, because he always intended for Heyman to be in his corner because of what he said all those years ago. I liked it. I thought the whole segment was very well done when I watched it this morning.
I mean, at least somebody liked it. I didn't.
We got Chilling with Chase saying they got to change Phoenix's entrance. That is gonna get cause some seizures. They got to change his entrance music. That entrance music fucking sucked. Jesus Christ! I was like, why are we giving him shitty music?
It didn't match him at all.
We got a couple of comments here. We got a super chat donation from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says Triple H saw the stock market crashing yesterday and said, "Hold my real American beer." Watch us tank Tiffany versus Charlotte even deeper than before. Sell. That's a great comment. Great super chat donation. Thank you so much, Chuck Berry. Yeah, it was oh my god. It's so unwatchable. This is like one of the most unwatchable feuds I think I've ever seen going into a world title match at WrestleMania. It's so bad. It's so bad.
This is a real good WrestleMania, guys. 41. One for the books. I think it's Vegas. Vegas didn't put a hex on them.
And they're gonna do a documentary for WrestleMania 9. The last time they were in Vegas, like they should have learned. They should have learned their lesson from 1993 that it never is a good time going to Vegas for WrestleMania. I guess.
Yeah, I think I can't. I wish they release it now. That we gotta wait till April 11th. They said it's gonna be released on Peacock or something like that.
Yeah. We shall see. We shall see how that goes.
Oh, that's Stephanie's Place show. Trash.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
I watched the first episode and I was like, yeah, I'm over this. I'm not gonna watch it again.
It barely talked to CM Punk. Like she talked to her husband longer than she talked to Punk. I was like, girl, the show is not even an hour. It's like 30 minutes, not even 25.
It's 25 minutes. Yes, 25 minutes. It's like if they had do they have commercials on ESPN Plus? Because I don't watch it on ESPN Plus.
I watched it on Hulu. I don't think I had any commercials.
Yeah, I didn't have any commercials on mine. It was 25
It went
minutes.
straight through. The Cody one was a little bit better, but still I was like, who said let's do this? I want to know what's the mastermind. And mind you, they have good documentaries that they do. But this one, maybe they'll get better as they go. I doubt it, but
Yeah, it's kind of just boring. No, I mean, it just comes off like a WWE network produced content. I
believe it is. They just put it on like Hulu, ESPN. I don't put that past anyone. They put like her going to the new Connecticut location. What does that got to do with CM Punk?
Yeah, I was like, why am I watching this?
I'm like, why are you like obsessed? You're looking at, oh my god, I feel like Andre's here. What?
I was like, what is going on? What am I watching?
It's like fake shit.
So bad.
It's crazy because it's funny because the things that are interesting about Stephanie you can't really talk about. So it's like with her trying to do these interviews, it's just kind of like the first one was CM Punk, right? The fact that they try to make it seem like he wasn't like back in the wrestling business before he went back to WWE was just kind of just like, all right, so this is the bullshit we're going with. All right, so I'm not gonna even bother to watch this show. And then with Cody Rhodes,
he was that.
And then with Cody Rhodes, they kind of hinted at AEW, but it was like they really didn't go like full throttle with it. Mm-hmm. So it just feels like a waste of time. It's like it's handpicked. It's one of those things where it's boring. It's boring content. It's like you're gonna interview somebody, do the real shit because even if Cody Rhodes mentions like AEW, right? Say like if that's the aspect, right? Because I know Romeo tried to defend it, like, oh, well, about like they're not trying to get free publicity. Cody Rhodes has already mentioned AEW on fucking WWE produced shit. On the documentary, he mentions AEW. So it's like it doesn't fucking matter, like, oh, who gives a shit? Like at this point, WWE is still gonna make money. mentioning AEW is not going to hurt your business, so it doesn't matter. Just mention it. Just talk about it. That's what people want to see.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like if you're doing shit like this, it's very uninteresting. It makes Stephanie very boring as like a host. I just don't want to see it.
Even before Cody, Sami Zayn said AEW back in 2019.
He said it on WWE programming. He said it on fucking live TV. Like, so it's like, who cares at this point, guys? And I get it. Yeah, they're the competition, regardless of what people want to say, because, you know, they've been trying to counter program with their pay-per-views. So if you're trying to say like they're not competition, WWE's business doesn't, they don't think the same way. So I don't know. To me, it was just one of those things. It's boring. I have no interest. Good thing that you guys told me about it. Good thing Sid told me about the first episode, because I was like, all right, I'm not wasting my time.
I mean, I seen his comment, but I was like, let me just see it for what it is.
Yeah, like you still want to see it for yourself. Yeah,
right.
You still want to see it for yourself. But then it was like, yeah, he was right. I'm not watching this shit.
He was right. I was like, I need something to watch while I like kill time, and like I need to like before I go to sleep. Let me just put this on as like, you know, filter background. And I feel like it had potential to be something good, but it's just like they just put their WWE stamp on it and just makes it awful.
Yeah. It comes off like all of those documentaries, like Josh said, that came off on WWE Network when it first came on and stuff. We should mention from last night's Friday Night SmackDown, yes, Jade Cargill and Naomi being made official for WrestleMania 41, the first singles women's match, non-title women's matchup at WrestleMania since 2006, and it is the first ever women's singles match, non-title singles match at WrestleMania that doesn't have a stupid stipulation that demeans women a part of it, because the other two are a Playboy pillow fight between Candice Michelle and Tori Wilson from WrestleMania 22 in 2006, and from WrestleMania 2000, Tori versus the Cat in a cat fight. So this is the first one that's an actual grudge match, non-title singles match for the women.
Give them a good 10 to 12. 15 is kind of pushing it.
You pushing it with 10. I think it gets under 10 minutes. It shouldn't go that long. We've seen that Jade Cargill is a lot more dominant and powerful than Naomi. Give them 8 minutes. Don't all thriller, no filler, and it might stand out on this show. But I will give it this: Jade Cargill and Naomi especially, they are delivering the best women's build-up to any WrestleMania match. I like Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Bianca Belair, and I think they're going to tear it up and be one of the best matches on either show of WrestleMania 41. But they have dragged out like the last 3 to 4 weeks of this storyline, and we still don't know it's going to be a triple threat match. It's not made official yet. That is going to be a triple threat match, even though it's obvious it's going to be a triple threat matchup. And then we're not going to go in again on Charlotte and Tiffany. We've done enough in the last
so those are what we have. So we have 3 women's matches altogether.
Yes.
So far. Because we still got time.
We're gonna have 4. Yeah. No, we're gonna have 4. Officially, we're gonna have 4 because they announced last night on SmackDown that next week, in Seattle on SmackDown, they're gonna do a gauntlet match, and the winner of the gauntlet match faces Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania. So this is the first time 4 women's matches on the 2-night WrestleMania. So we'll probably have 2 per night.
Yay.
Hey.
Whoever's on the night with Charlotte and Tiffany, sorry.
I don't know anymore. I don't know. And like I
shouldn't say that. No, I shouldn't say that. They'll probably upstage that particular one.
But when this match was first made and we got the first couple of weeks that weren't good, I was like, oh man, it's gonna when the bell rings on WrestleMania, it's gonna be good. Now that this is because we should mention WrestleVotes did confirm that last night the promo between Charlotte and Tiffany, it was off script. They went a bit off script. Some of what they said wasn't on the rundown. And then Sean Ross Sapp confirmed that news, that several people backstage confirmed that they went off script with their promo last night. So this is very much leaning towards these people don't really like each other, and it felt like last night that Tiffany Stratton was getting her clap back for Charlotte going off script in the sit down interview.
Well, let's see what happens.
It's a mess. This shit is all a fucking mess. It's a fucking mess for sure. We got to talk about the big one of the bigger news points from last night's Friday Night SmackDown, as it is confirmed by Kevin Owens on the show that he has suffered an injury. WWE star Kevin Owens is dealing with an injury ahead of WrestleMania 41. PW Nexus, which has reported a bunch of news over the last year, dating back to the Motor City Machine Gun signing with WWE and a whole bunch of other stuff that they've reported on. They reported on Friday. They teased it on Thursday night and then reported it on Friday that Kevin Owens has an undisclosed injury, putting his status for WrestleMania in doubt. A match between Owens and Randy Orton is on the books for WrestleMania, and as of the moment that they reported that, there has not been an announcement from WWE regarding Owens' injury status or if his match against Orton will still be happening. And an update on Owens' injury per Dave Meltzer on Finger 4 Online. Owens' injury is reportedly a significant one, with his status for WrestleMania currently unknown. The nature of the injury was not confirmed at that time, as the company wanted to keep it under wraps, but it has been confirmed that by multiple sources that it was legit and serious. Owens has not had an official matchup in WWE since facing Sami Zayn in an unsanctioned bout at Elimination Chamber on March 1st, but he's made appearances on SmackDown since then, furthering the build to WrestleMania. And then, of course, like we mentioned earlier, Kevin Owens came out on Friday Night SmackDown at the top of the third hour and announced that he has been dealing with neck issues for the past 4 months, and that he basically has to go get surgery now after receiving a checkup from his doctor this week. He has confirmed in an interview with Robbie Fox of On My Mom's Basement, he basically revealed that he suffered the injury in January during one of the matches that he had during the month. He basically, he had an MRI in December, which said that everything was all right. He just has bad knees, which he's known for a while, but he had some spinosis, but pretty much everyone in wrestling has a little bit of that. So he was perfectly fine. His neck was fine in December, but he felt something wrong in a matchup in January. I checked on Pro Fight DB, which is a good database if you want to find out about like people's past matches. Owens only had 2 matches that month, and those were on SmackDown against Rey Mysterio and against Jimmy Uso. He did not specify in the interview with Robbie Fox which matchup it was where he suffered the injury, but he did continue to wrestle after that in the matchup, like the aforementioned last match that he had at Elimination Chamber against Sami Zayn, and then of course the latter match that he had with Cody Rhodes back at the Royal Rumble. So none of that could probably help his status, but they have confirmed, Sean Ross Sapp on Fightful has confirmed that this is a career-threatening injury, which most neck injuries are. So we don't. Kevin Owens kind of said that in his promo last night, that he doesn't know when he'll be back. He doesn't know if he'll be back. So it's pro wrestling. I got from Jimmy Macaram, because I said it would be crazy if we don't see Kevin Owens again, because then that means that his last matchup would have been against Sami Zayn in Canada. So like, despite it being a heartbreaking and so disheartening, so sad that he gets injured this close to WrestleMania, it would be poetic that his final matchup is against his best friend and the guy he came up in the business back in Canada. I'm hoping that it's not his final match and that he does come back. But Krssi Love, what's your reaction to this heartbreaking injury for Kevin Owens?
Someone done put some mojo on some of these wrestlers, I swear, because this ain't right, yo. This is not cool. Like, I feel so bad. I pray that this is not career ending. Hopefully they can fix it and he can come back so much stronger. But we probably not gonna see him like. I hope it's not gonna give us the Big E like thing, because like this is not cool. We need Kevin Owens in these streets, son. Like,
Yeah, man. I was like, when the news dropped yesterday, I was very sad about it because I was like, yo, Kevin Owens is probably my favorite. Him and Gunther are probably my two favorite WWE wrestlers. And with Kevin Owens, it's someone that I've watched for nearly 20 years now. I remember being in Hammerstein Ballroom back in 2007 when he was first starting out in Ring of Honor, and him and El Generico had the career-making rivalry with the Briscoes. And I remember being at Manhattan Mayhem when they had a brawl in the main event and they faced the Briscoes then. I remember them brawling in like my second show at the Hammerstein Ballroom with the Briscoes. And that rivalry really put tag team wrestling on the map in Ring of Honor, in my opinion. And then to see him go all the way through Ring of Honor, I seeked out a lot of his PWG stuff, and then I've watched him the past 12 years in WWE and what he's been able to accomplish, the last 11 years in WWE and what he's been able to accomplish. I don't want this to be the end, but even if it is, this guy has gave us such a special career that we have to appreciate as fans, because he's put his body on the line so many different times. Josh, I know you have a special connection to Kevin Owens. What did you think about the announcement of his injury and surgery?
I mean, it's unfortunate. I thought it would be something. I didn't think it would be a neck injury. I thought it was something else. So when I heard it, when he confirmed it was his neck, I was like, "Fuck, that's never a good sign."
good.
But then also in WWE, they're usually very picky when it comes to clearing you. And one of the main things that people don't get cleared for is like anything that has to do with like head injuries or neck injuries. They're usually very picky on that. For example, like Krssi mentioned was Big E. The Big E situation is a lot different because Big E never got surgery. That was the thing. He never got surgery, and the bone healed on its own. However, because it healed on its own, there's concern that it could break easily again. It's very fragile.
Really?
It could break again. So that's why his situation is a lot different. Usually when it comes to neck surgeries in general, it's scary, but usually guys do end up coming back. Like we've seen it with Edge, we've seen it with Tommaso Ciampa. So it's not, so it's not, I mean, it's one of the things where it could be career ending because WWE takes they take that very seriously when it comes to being cleared. So that's why I'm hoping that it's not career ending. I'm hoping that maybe it's something different. Maybe it's something that I want to say a quick fix, but something that he could be out for maybe about 6 months to a year. It's not impossible, but as I'm more glad that at least he's still walking, like he's still, because those matches he had were crazy matches, like the Cody match and the Sammy match. He took a lot of damage that, at least now knowing, hindsight being 2020, it was like, fuck, like you were doing all that, even with the injury, even when your neck bothering you, that's crazy. But, that's what happens when you're in the wrestling business, So I'm more glad that he's okay now, like he's okay, that he's doing okay, and if it's the last time we do see him in the ring, I just want people to be, to be thankful that we were able to see like his career the way that we've been seeing it from ROH to where he is now. Obviously, there's a lot of us that have wanted more for KO, but at the end of the day, he's had a great career no matter what. And as long as he's healthy, as long as he's moving, and as long as he could take care of his kids, take care of his family, that's all that really matters, in my opinion. Timing is very unfortunate because of WrestleMania season. On top of that, he did just sign a new contract too. So that's that's even, I think that's a bigger blow than anything. Whereas like, damn, he just signed a new 5-year deal and this happens. I wish him the best. I hope everything ends up working out. I do believe he'll come back. Like I'm not gonna put that doubt of like, oh, we might. I think he does come back.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm really putting it out there because we've seen like a bunch of guys whose careers have been ended by neck injuries, and we got a couple of mentions in the chat, like Mr. Bonda bringing up Jason Jordan, Safet bringing up Tyson Kidd, and Pyrejari Finisher says neck and spinal injuries are so close to one wrong move, leaving anyone paralyzed or worse. So like even despite us being hopeful and thinking that he will be back, it is going to be a while. It's going to be at least a year before he comes back.
And then also I think people just also need to like just look at the situations that are going on, right? Like we know Kevin Owens is getting neck surgery. It's a matter of what kind of surgery he's getting, right? Because with Jason Jordan, in his case, he got neck surgery. The problem with Jason Jordan has been nerve. When you don't have feeling in like some of your body parts, like your arms and anything, you're never going to get cleared, because that's a concern. If you could get surgery, you could get it fixed. But if your nerves are not 100%, you're probably never going to get cleared. And that's been the case with Jason Jordan. There was times where after he got the surgery, Jason couldn't feel. I think it was one of his arms he couldn't feel. When you don't have that feeling, you're not going to get cleared. And with Tyson Kidd, obviously we know what happened with the incident with the match with Samoa Joe, right? I believe it was like a dark match or something. Yeah, and then the type of broken neck he had, only 10% of people survive. So Tyson Kidd was very fortunate that he was part of that 10% that survived. The problem with his is also a nerve issue. He can't feel the top of his head. And again, once you have a nerve issue and you're not 100% in that, then you're never going to get cleared. And that's why he was forced to retire. Same thing, that's why Jason Jordan, basically his career is also over, unfortunately, because of that. With KO, we still don't know the extent. We don't know what kind of neck surgery he's getting. And that's why I'm a little, that's why I'm being a little bit hopeful when it comes to that. But, it's a scary thing. It's very scary, just, because it's not only about just coming back to the ring. It's a life-changing thing, because your neck, main part you need your body, to, like when you walk and everything. So it's very unfortunate. I really thought it was like, I was hoping it was like, oh, maybe he tore like a knee or like a muscle in the knee or something, and he could come back. But when I heard neck, I was like, fuck, like that's not good.
That was my initial reaction. I was like, not his neck. Fuck, man. I was like,
it's one of the worst ones you can pick.
Yeah, I was even like saying, like, if he was even a little bit, if he was banged up or injured and it wouldn't cause any more damage, he would have still worked WrestleMania. But the fact that it was saying like, oh, it's legit, it's serious and stuff, I was like, oh fuck, it's something really, really bad. But here in the neck, it was like even worse than I could have even imagined when initially I heard the report. So we're gonna send our best. Everyone here at Tru Heel Heat wants to send love, prayers, and the best wishes to Kevin Owens, and hopefully he is back on our screens in some capacity down the line. But it's gonna be a long road of recovery for him. So hoping for the best, because he's done so much and he's been such a big part of WrestleMania, especially with the KO Mania shirts that he would always come out with. And then his history, whether it be him being in a show-stealing ladder match at WrestleMania 32, him and Chris Jericho after like 6-7 months of their build up to WrestleMania, and everything that happened with them, and him winning the US Championship there. WrestleMania 34, him and Sami Zayn facing Bryan Danielson in his return back to the ring, and Shane McMahon. WrestleMania 36 against Seth Rollins. That was one of the best matches of the pandemic mania. WrestleMania 37, him and Sammy finally get to face one-on-one at the show of shows. Of course, WrestleMania 38, his first time in the main event against his childhood hero, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I saw a funny video recently. He had an interview with our good friend Alex McCarthy, where he said Austin sent him sing him happy birthday the month after that, for his birthday in May, after they main evented WrestleMania together. Then he got to main event WrestleMania back-to-back years with his best friend Sami Zayn in Los Angeles, just miles away from PWG, and had a perfect 5-star matchup against the Usos in 2023. And then last year, him and Orton and Logan Paul had a great match on night 2 of WrestleMania. So he's been such an important factor, important performer on WrestleMania, especially over the last 3 to 4 years. It's heartbreaking that we're going to miss out with him this year. With him and Orton, we're having one of the best build-ups to WrestleMania this year.
I was about to say that. I was like, they were having actually one of the finer build-ups that this WrestleMania has. There hasn't been a lot of great things, but they were kind of one of those positive ones where it was like, they're not doing anything wrong, but they're actually like in line where it's like, hey, everything's going well. Like, this is kind of a match that people do want to see because the buildup was actually fine. Like, it was doing what it was supposed to do. And then this shit happens.
Hence why I said, good luck with 41, guys. Like, this is one for the books, because the people that you want to see or the things that you would like to happen ain't happening.
Yeah, in regards to Orton, I think Orton will be fine. Orton will be fine. We'll get a matchup. It's a matter of who's going to be his matchup.
So that's the question. Who do y'all think Randy Orton will face at WrestleMania? I think they should just take what they did last night and run with it. Sometimes the best things happen by accident, but it's something that you could say, oh, we had this on the back burner this whole time to just pull out when we needed it. Break glass in case of emergency, and do Nick Aldis's first match in WWE, Nick Aldis versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. And before anyone says, oh man, why would they do Nick Aldis first match on 2 weeks notice? I guarantee you, WWE, Triple H, or Nick Aldis does not give a fuck that it's on 2 weeks notice. Nick Aldis will say, I get to perform at WrestleMania? Yeah, fuck it. Goddamn.
Say it again for the people at the back, SP. He will be performing where? At West
WrestleMania.
Hello.
Like, what are we talking about here? Let's be serious.
No, and I was saying that last night. I was like, that would be a fun alternative. I was like, if that's an option, I'm like, I would be more on board with that, because there people, I think SP3 did bring it up on Twitter, where Randy Orton paid the fine. Remember, he paid in advance. He was like, oh, this was $100,000. What's this? And then he's like, it's for the next one. And then he gave him RKO last night,
that
so
was in December of 2023. So they can be like, oh, we've been having this on the back burner the whole time. This is a year, this is 2 year long story.
Yeah, and when it comes to Nick Aldis, there's a lot that he's done for the business that I don't think he's appreciated enough for. And I think this will be like a nice, a nice little thing for him. Not only he gets to finally wrestle in WWE, but at a WrestleMania, you killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Again, like, he's done a lot that I think he's pretty deserving of this moment. If it happens, obviously I think it will be more up to him than anything. Because he hasn't, but he still looks like in great shape. Like, he looks like he could still go. And that's a positive. And if he wants to do it, I mean, I hope he goes for it. I know some people brought up like the 2 new signings that are coming in. I don't think that would be a good situation for Orton. I think you just get something that's kind of continuation. I don't want Orton to be like that, kind of like, he's going to be the person that's going to put over the new, because that wasn't the whole case for Orton to begin with. He shouldn't be in that position.
Win against Kevin Owens. He was going to win.
Yeah, he shouldn't be in that position. And then if him and Nick Aldis wrestle, even if Aldis loses, it doesn't hurt Aldis at all. So it's like, I prefer that, and again, it's a nice alternative. I think it hits a lot of marks for it. But then again, like it'll be a nice moment for Nick Aldis, like him finally getting
Definitely
a
a
match
good
in the
moment,
WWE,
yep.
and like that's sometimes that matters more than like, oh well, where's the story or all the bullshit people
You
try
don't
to
need
go
one.
for.
They got one already. It's
Like
been in the
fuck
books for
it,
like
right?
how long?
Fuck it. He RKO'd him again on TV. That's it right there, right?
They
Fuck
didn't
it.
have much stories with the other matches. Why do you give a shit now?
Exactly.
Right?
There's not much story to
Yo.
the WWE Women's Tag Team Title match, so why
Hello?
not just give Orton and give all this something that's probably been on his bucket list for years, and he is capable. He's still a I had someone say, "Oh no, I'd rather a wrestler face Orton right now in WWE." I was like, Nick Aldis is a wrestler. He's a wrestler. He was like, well, not in WWE story. I was like, who gives a fuck about that? Who cares about what WWE tells us?
They pick and choose when they want to. It's stupid.
But also, Nick's style would work with Orton's style. Like his style will definitely work. So it's not like I don't have a concern when it comes to that at all. It's just a matter of, if he steps in, it'll kind of also show the initiative that Nick Aldis is taking within the company. That will make him still look good no matter what. And that's if he wants to do it and if the company wants to be on board with it.
We got Myron Kidd who says Nick Aldis, first British heavyweight champion. Indeed he was. Chuck Berry says there is a good history of GM wrestling wrestlers in WrestleMania's past. Yeah, that's also true. So I like it a lot. We got another report that is about what Josh was mentioning, some new signings to WWE, and Rusev Day is back in WWE, folks, as PW Insider has corroborated through multiple sources that Rusev, formerly known as Miro in All Elite Wrestling, was present at WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut for the entirety of Tuesday. His presence was observed by numerous individuals, confirming his visit. PW Insider has also revealed that Rusev has officially re-signed with WWE, and his visit was to finalize the details surrounding his return. While the precise date of his on-screen return is yet to be announced, it is now confirmed that Rusev is back with the company. Notably, it was also mentioned that CJ Perry, Rusev's real-life wife and also known as Lana, during her time in WWE, was not present during the visit, so it's unknown if she will also join him back in WWE, but Rusev officially back in the fold. He was released from All Elite Wrestling back in February after a long layoff with the company. His last appearance for AEW is back at World's End 2023 in December of 2023. So it's been a long while for Rusev. Are you excited to see Rusev back in WWE? And what do you think is going to be like one of the things you want to see from Rusev back in the fold in the company? Krssi.
No. Now I like to see Jacob Fatu whoop his ass. How about that? Confetti. Yay.
We still not fucking with Rusev.
Confetti. Yay. Excitement. Can't you just tell?
She gave the long pause and then says, no.
I didn't want to answer at all, but I figured that was rude. So I would at least give an answer. You're very welcome, my friend. I mean, I'm just telling you what other people are also thinking and don't want to say.
Josh,
he'll be a mid-carder stuck. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Roast him. The floor is yours.
He will be a mid-carder stuck forever. You will never be anything else. I'm sorry. Paul Levesque does not see anything. I guess they just need more people to give money away to. And then they'll, fire other people. Make way for Rusev. Yay. You will be a mid-carder. You probably get the U.S. title again. and then you'll be stuck, and we'll ask for your release. Okay, thank you.
She's like, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Josh, what do you think about Rusev re-signing with WWE, and what do you think is going to be the plans for him?
I mean, it's whatever for him. I mean, it's. I know I'm not excited because of Rusev Day. Anybody knows me knows I never gave a shit about Rusev Day. I thought it
Looking
was.
back on it, it was the worst thing they could have ever done.
I thought it was. I mean, to be honest, I always thought it was fucking stupid. Now. And I told everybody, hey, it's fucking stupid. Nobody believed me. People try to troll me. It didn't work. And then guess what? He got cheated on live TV, and then he got released. I mean, the best thing they could do for him is just have the cuck chair again for him. Have some kind of gimmick like that on TV. Hey, he could do that. That's what he's good at. I mean, well, if he wants any type of success, he's gonna have to cut the bullshit he was trying to do with AEW. With AEW, he tried to politic his way of not losing and not wanting to be a team player. This time around, he has no choice. So.
Yep, you're gonna get down, lay down, nigga. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yo.
Holy shit!
I mean, she's not lying. She's not lying. She's not lying.
I apologize.
Y'all dead ass treating Rusev like Tiffany is treating Charlotte, or Charlotte's treating Tiffany. God damn, y'all don't like this nigga. I think if WWE is able to recapture the magic that was God's favorite champion, the Redeemer Miro, like make him the Redeemer Rusev in WWE, I think they could do something with him, and that he might have a trajectory that makes him a fringe main eventer, a upper mid card type of guy. I think he could be in line with just behind like your Aleister Blacks of the world. The way y'all are talking about it, he's gonna wind up like Andrade and be upset that he's not being used.
I get give it about 6 months. I won't even give it a year. I won't even give it a year. To be honest,
that wouldn't surprise me if it ends up like that route. To be honest with you, like what you were saying, it could work. Like if they were to find something. Because honestly, he's just not going to be that guy to be a world champion. No matter what he feels, no matter what he thinks, he's not going to be a world champion. And it happens a lot. There's guys that we like. There's guys who are good, but they're not going to – nothing happens for them. And I think maybe the same thing's going to happen for him. Like what, U.S. title run? I think that's his – I honestly think that's his ceiling. World Heavyweight Championship, I don't know. Like maybe that's a thing, but – you would have to make somebody care for that to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I think a World Heavyweight Championship, like if you said like the Redeemer kind of stuff, something like that could work. But it's just he's gonna have to be on board. That's just what it really comes down to. He's gonna have to like deal. He's gonna have to be a team player. And in WWE, you basically have no choice but to be a team player. So I mean, when it comes to that, we'll see what happens. If they do anything great with him, obviously because they have the Rusev Day marketing, like, are they going to go back to that? Is he going to be Miro? Because we've seen the AEW talent come in and,
he's not going to be Miro. He's going to be Rusev.
I mean, like, as in, like, just talking to, because, I was like, like
the Redeemer character.
Yeah. Like, that would be interesting because again, you already have value with Rusev and Rusev Day to run that kind of back, but at the same time, it's like, obviously you're gonna fool a lot of fans with that garbage. So I mean, that'll be good for them business wise. People want to buy his crappy shirts again. By all means, I'm not buying it, so I'm saving my money. We'll see what happens. Hey, I mean, it's true. You're gonna see, like, I bet you some of these people in the chat are gonna buy his ugly ass shirt. I'm telling you.
I had a Rusev Day shirt and the Rusev Day calendar. I had the
Rusev Day shirt, and I got rid of it.
And you still have it?
I said I got rid of it. I did a recent purge, and I had to clean out.
Oh, see that?
I'm like, I'm not wearing this shit no more.
Well, I mean, you did the smart thing. That's good. I mean, I'm proud of you for that. So.
Cyclops is better than Wolverine says, do y'all don't like Rusev the person or the wrestler? Because it sounds like y'all really don't like this nigga. LOL.
Who gives a fuck if it's either way? Who gives a fuck?
Okay, I was gonna be a little bit nicer than that, but you know.
I'm just saying, who gives a fuck at this point? It don't matter.
Josh sounded like he was upset at the question.
Right. He said it with his chest too. Like I felt it. Like he was like, who gives a
because it's a stupid ass question. Who gives a fuck? Like I said it. I'm like, I don't give a shit about seeing him on TV. Now to do something great with him, that would be great. You know, fine. But it's the person or who gives a fuck? Like he was on live TV being his fucking wife was being passed around on live TV. Why do I need to give a shit?
I mean, that's a valid reason to be upset, you know. They wouldn't do that to Bianca Belair.
Josh was like, I took that question personal.
Damn right. That's a stupid ass question.
Have Lana come back and let her be with Maxine Dupree.
Oh man, this is great. Dion said Josh hates cocks.
He's a glorified cuck. I mean, that's what he is. I'm just saying. We will
not be cuck shaming here, sir.
I'm just saying. I've never been that man to sit in the corner. That ain't me. I've never been about that. I've never been about that. Like if you about that, then you're fucking weird. And he was about that on TV.
Oh man, that was great. Vala B with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Vala B, for the support. I don't know if you were here earlier, Vala B. We've said we're gonna do our call-in episode for hitting our goal on last week's podcast. We will do that on the post WrestleMania edition of the flagship podcast. So if you didn't hear that earlier, let you know now. But Vala B sends a super chat donation. Thank you so much. He says Andrade is upset he is the 3 in 0-3.
Oh, did you see his tweet? Did you see his tweet?
Yes.
He wrote a tweet.
Who tweet?
Yeah.
Andrade?
He roasted him for it. Yeah. Andrade wished Charlotte a happy birthday, and all the fans ripped him apart, saying that he's the 3 in 0-3.
I mean, they're not lying. He is. He's the 3 in 0-3, and he hasn't been on TV since. So I mean, yeah.
Her birthday was yesterday, right?
Yeah. No, today. Today.
Okay.
That's kind of crazy, right? You had like one of the worst promos in like history, and then it's your birthday.
Before your birthday. Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, wait, she got booed on her birthday? Damn. I know.
Damn, it's rough.
I know it was like this. I knew she was coming up this week. I didn't know it was like that close, but okay, so it's the 5th. I got it.
No, and I also, when it comes to that, I wanted to add on that Charlotte actually did it to herself when it comes to last night, because you know what happened? I noticed where people started, it wasn't even the boos weren't loud. She stopped to acknowledge it. That's why the boos got loud. She did it to herself.
Yeah.
That is a good point. You're right.
Yeah. She's like, damn. But yes, we appreciate the super chat donations. We're gonna swiftly move on. I'm not gonna ask any more questions about Rusev because that got people upset.
I was saying we've been on this too long, actually, to be honest. We could go on to the next topic.
I have optimism for Rusev back in WWE. I'm the only one on this panel who does.
Somebody needs to. Can
we just screenshot this part right here, and then we're gonna go back in 6 months and play this back, and we're gonna be like, see, SPU, the only idiot that had faith in this bullshit.
Oh shit!
God damn, why I gotta be an idiot?
I'm sorry, I should have used a different word. I apologize. But producer or Romeo, we're going to take this out at 1 hour and 28 minutes. And SP said that he has full faith in.
I didn't say hold on. Why you rewording? I said
you might as well.
Optimism.
Josh, back me up on this. He might as well.
No, optimism. Optimism is not the same as having full faith. I've seen this company run people coming back. So I have optimism for Rusev.
I got to be on board with this with SP3 because I think Full Faith will be like Romeo, just trying to be, like he'll probably have full faith because he's kind of an idiot. No offense to him, but I think that's why he'll have full faith on that.
In a new report, has some details on which matches. On which matches will happen on which night of WrestleMania 41 from Las Vegas. The event is set to take place on April 19th and 20th. According to WrestleVotes, the lineup will be on night 1, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins is announced as the main event. We will also see the World Heavyweight Championship matchup of Gunther versus Jey Uso. This report came out earlier this week, so they had on the docket for night 1 Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. Of course, that's now been changed. We will see what Randy Orton does at WrestleMania. But also on night 1, WWE Women's Championship matchup, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. On night 2 of WrestleMania, the show will be closed by Cody Rhodes defending the WWE Championship against John Cena, and WWE Women's World Championship, Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair is listed in the report. And the third match on night 2, out of the matches that have already been announced at that time, was AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. So we get a little bit of a picture of what we're going to see on both nights of WrestleMania. And finally, go ahead.
Shouldn't they change this John Cena picture to like him not smiling since he's a heel?
It's like a smirk. It's not really a smile.
I mean, Cody ain't smiling at all.
It's a smirk. We'll get into what happened between Cody and Cena on Monday here shortly. But one last report before we get into Monday Night Raw. Rey Fénix, of course, made his debut on last night's Friday Night SmackDown, and plans for his first feud may have already been revealed. According to Dave Meltzer on the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Fénix's first feud in WWE will be with Andrade. He noted that he's unsure if the feud would have began on Friday, but that is the current plan for Fénix. Fénix and Andrade previously feuded in All Elite Wrestling back in 2022 with Penta on Fénix's side and Rush backing up Andrade. Brian Alvarez asked if Fénix or Penta could be drafted to the other show to give the Lucha Bros a tag team run, which Meltzer said was a possibility. So we shall see what happens. It does seem like Fénix in the short term will be feuding with Legado del Fantasma. He's been announced that he's going to first Berto on next week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown, and they did do a backstage segment after his debut with Legado del Fantasma where Santos Escobar took a liking to Rey Fénix and basically made the challenge to Berto to prove that he is better than the newest star on SmackDown. So we'll see how that progresses and how Andrade comes into the picture.
Good luck with that. Because you're he's being fed to Fénix,
putting all the Spanish people against each other yet again. We ain't got shit else.
Always happens, right? Always happens, right?
And to be fair, so like yesterday, like with the match itself, like I was saying, like how Fénix was moving slow and stuff. So when I watched the match again, because I wanted to watch it again to have like a fair, like set of eyes on
analysis.
I like the match. I like the match the second time than the first time. There were a few botches, and that was, I was more on Frazier, but I think Frazier was nervous. Frazier's moves really.
But they recovered.
No, I'm saying
I told you. See, I told you. Yeah. I was telling you. I was like, you were saying when you said he worked a slower pace. I was like, no, I don't think it was that. I think that Nathan Frazier is he's on speed. He's like Carlton on that episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Every time he's in the ring.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like, and I want it to be fair when it comes to that, because when I watched it again, I was like, oh, that's why the botches were happening, because he was moving too fast. Sometimes when you move too fast, it just happens, right? But the match was fun. I mean, it was a good debut. I did like Penta's match a little bit more so because I had more time. But I felt like the stuff they did with Fénix was like kind of, I know people were saying like it was copy and paste of like the presentation of Penta and all that stuff. I actually don't mind it too much, to be honest with you. Like, I don't mind it that much because I'm like, we all know they're brothers, so fuck it. They're on different brands, so might as well just do that. And by the time they come together, they become the Lucha Bros again. it will make a lot of sense. So I was on board with it when it comes to all that stuff that people were complaining about.
Yeah, and I'll give it up to my good friend Jimmy Macarim, because he did keep the same energy. When we reviewed Dynamite this week, he had an issue with Will Ospreay teaming up with Kevin Knight, because it was Kevin Knight's debut on Dynamite, and them facing Blake Christian and Lee Johnson, where Blake Christian does a whole bunch of cool shit that Kevin Knight can't do, so he looked more impressive than the guy you were supposed to be highlighting. And he kept the same energy with this, where he was like, Nathan Frazier was not the right guy to put in there with Ray Phoenix, because he looked better than Phoenix in the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't the right matchup, and I think it's kind of like one of those things where they're not bad wrestlers, right? Sometimes it happens pairing when you pair certain people. Sometimes it just doesn't go that well. I don't think Frazier was the right person, more so because it was also his kind of SmackDown debut. Why are you debuting him like in that fashion too? And I think that kind of hurt the situation. I think they should have put Phoenix with somebody like with a more simpler style, because he's going over no matter what. And I think they should have gone that route. But the match was good for what it was.
I said they should have put him in there with a base like Apollo Crews. I think that would have been a better
yeah. Put somebody with a more like a more like not similar, but like more style that would make Phoenix stand out more, and then he was gonna get put over regardless. Yeah, so I agree with that.
We got a super chat donation here from Dion Jenkins. Thank you so much, Dion, for the support. He says, I don't get guys like Andrade. More wrestlers should be like Chelsea Green and focus on getting over instead of just getting a push. I mean, you gotta have the opportunity to be on camera to get the push. I think that's what Andrade, I think more than anything, that's what Andrade wants right now. He wants to get on TV so he can get over, because right now he isn't. And we did have one
and
more.
It's a 3-hour show. Donation. It should be like something where they have time that they can showcase these guys that they got back there. You wanted 3 hours, so let's do that. Give this.
And then also to that take. When it comes to like Andrade himself, he doesn't have like the charisma personality that Chelsea Green has. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like I get what
type of performer.
I get what Dion is saying 100%, but it's like Andrade's strong suit is his wrestling. That's what he's known for. Chelsea's strong suit is her character, is her gimmick, and she's made it known. Like she's even said it herself.
She's invested into it. That's why she's like put it out there to make it that way.
Yeah, like so his take is not exactly wrong, but it's just there's guys who, in performers in general, there's people who are just better wrestlers than characters.
Yeah. We got one more super chat donation. Vala B, once again, thank you for the support. We appreciate you, good brother. He says, we did our Booker T rant for the Swerve and Vlad TV shit yet. We have not get to anything AEW related. We will get into that. We have the latest drama after last week, where we had the big diatribe about Swerve and AJ Francis. This week, it's Swerve, Booker T, and Vlad TV. We will talk about that in a bit. But first, WWE Raw on Netflix. Last week's Raw from Scotland did 3 million viewers. They were number 4 overall on the Netflix top 10. The show this week was from London, England, and your very own SP3 was there live to feature one of the best promo segments I think I've ever been live for, as John Cena and Cody Rhodes had an absolutely superb exchange where Cena finally explained why he turned heel on Cody Rhodes back at the Elimination Chamber, saying that Cody is nothing but a Nepo baby chauffeur that took all of his secrets to become the champion that the people believe in. Cena said that he doesn't bury talent. He is talent. He buries mediocrity. And someone mediocre holds something meaningful, and that's why he's taken the title from Cody. Cody responded by saying the fans didn't choose Cena. One guy in an office did, and we can't even talk about him anymore. Cody said that Cena is a company creation that is nothing more than a piece of shit, despite being his hero. Cena responded by saying that he builds empires for billionaires while Cody steals their kids' money. Cody got the final word by saying that the fans never told him that he can't wrestle, which got under Cena's skin. It led to Cena trying to go for a cheap shot, but Cody got the last laugh by laying out Cena with the crossroads to stand tall to end this segment. In the main event, you had Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's World Championship. That went to a double DQ finish after special referee Bianca Belair was hit by both women. This led to a post-match brawl with Rhea Ripley laying out both ladies with the riptide and finally gave one final avalanche riptide to Belair to stand tall to close the show, as it seems that we're going to get that triple threat match despite Adam Pearce not coming out, which I thought he should have just came out and announced this shit already.
Yeah, they got another Monday. They want to just prolong it. That's all.
Absolutely. Drag this shit out as long as possible, it seems.
Yep.
The New Day beat New Catch Republic with the returning Tyler Bate. Post-match, Kofi and Xavier said that they wanted a shot at the World Tag Team titles, with the War Raiders coming down to seemingly accept the challenge. The Judgment Days, Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio defeated Penta and Braun Breaker to get the advantage, with Finn Balor believing that he has the momentum to go after the IC title now. He still has no singles wins in this year. We had AJ Styles and Logan Paul had a promo exchange with their WrestleMania match being set, but Paul delivered the pulverizer to Styles to stand tall. And finally, you had Gunther defeated Jimmy Uso in a pretty good matchup. Post-match, Gunther tried to reapply a sleeper to Jimmy until his brother Jay Uso came out to make the save. However, Gunther snuck up behind the Usos. He zip-tied Jay to the ropes and completely slaughtered, bloodying Jimmy Uso in a violent, brutal beatdown that looked like an absolute murder scene. And Gunther finally in this title reign looked like an absolute killer. Love this segment. It may have saved this really bad buildup to WrestleMania with this one segment here. Josh, what did you think about Monday Night Raw and the Cody and Cena promo exchange, as well as this scene with Gunther and the Usos?
Raw was actually pretty good.
God bless you, Krssi. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No worries. Thank you.
I mean, the show was pretty good. I like the Cena and Cody stuff. I was like, finally, they had like a nice face to face, and some of the stuff they were saying was kind of just like, damn, like, Cena's line about like, oh, like, I've made money for billionaires, you just take the kids' money. We all know what was that? Who was that to?
That was a double whammy reference. That was a Vince reference and an AEW Tony Khan reference all in one.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, I thought Cody too held his own, because with Cody, we know he's a good promo guy, right? We know that, but then there's times where when he has like a face to face, like we know, like, oh yeah, he could say, he could deliver, but then at the same time, it's like the person always ends up looking better than Cody. So that's what I was kind of worried about here.
As our Cody enthusiast, who won the promo battle? Because I believe Cena won, because I think the Empire's line is the best line out of the whole promo, and that was like the last real bar that I heard there. And he brought more fire than we've seen from him over the last couple of weeks, and probably the last couple of years. And he got the crowd behind him, where they were booing Cody when he first responded to him. So that's why I gave it to Cena.
Okay.
Top guy JJ also thinks Cena won the promo battle. Jimmy Macaram thinks Cena won the promo battle, but Romeo believes Cody did, and a couple of people in the chat believe Cody did. Josh, what did you?
I think Cena did, and it wasn't like a huge margin, but I think Cena did.
No. It was an actual boxing match with words. Like I will hand it to Cody. Cody did great in the position he was, because most lesser guys would have basically just looked absolutely awful against Cena when he's throwing those type of haymakers at him. He threw some haymakers of his own. So I'm not saying that. I'm saying one has to win the promo battle, and I think Cena did.
Yeah, same. I think Cena ended up looking better a little bit more. Like I thought his lines were kind of like more like a hit, right there. Especially again, like my favorite line was the billionaire line. Like that was my favorite line of the of the promos. When it comes down to it, I did like towards the end where Cody mentioned about like his wrestling, where he shitted on his wrestling. Like, oh, I've never had anybody chant "You can't wrestle," and then Cena actually got upset. Like, I thought that was great. Like, that alone was great. But I think, I think Cena did. There's nothing wrong with that. So I mean, I don't know what Romeo saw that said, "Oh yeah, Cody." I'm just trying to figure that out. Like, what?
I think Jimmy said this to me. He was like, "It feels like people, because Cody did not get destroyed, he won to some people."
But that's not. But that's
like
not.
I said, most people. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Like, I was like, but Cena was the better of the two. Like, it doesn't matter. Cody did great. He did great. Absolutely great. He gets a 4 3/4 stars, but Cena got a 5-star promo.
But they didn't say that 2 weeks in a row when he was cooking him up those other 2 weeks. So now he got a week where he didn't do. Cena just outdid him this week. That's all. It's okay. Like it's a going back and forth thing. This is what's going to make the video package better when you see the match on that Sunday.
I that's kind of, I don't know. That's pretty fucking stupid. That's like being in a title fight with John Jones, and then you last all 5 rounds, and you're like, oh well, I think this guy won because he went the distance with John Jones. No, you still fucking lost. The fuck is the point? Like, if you lost, you lost. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get that at all. Like, that's fucking stupid.
I think Cyclops, sometimes that happens. You might have to either go out of the video and then click back on, or close the app and then come back on, or close the tab if you're watching on computer, or if you're watching on TV, something like that. I don't know. Sometimes I have heard that before. I'm sorry, Cyclops, but I will feature your comments because you always bring some heat with your comments, so we appreciate you, good sir. But yeah. I just had to ask that. I'll ask. You think the same, Krssi Love? What did you think about the promo exchange, and what did you think about the Gunther and the Uso segment?
First, the promo segment was great. It's excellent. It opened up. We needed more of an oomph for this particular one. This is with the third encounter, and you didn't want the same thing from the other two. You had to do something different, and this was great. And it's okay that John Cena got one of the 3. It's okay. Like, why are we having a debate on like who won or who didn't win? It's like they both won at the end of the day. Just one was better than the other. They don't want to be looking like Tiffany and Charlotte. Hello.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the promo exchange was great. Really, really good. Again, and I didn't hear that part of them, like, kind of like booing Cody on my end on my TV, but I guess because you were in the crowd, you heard it more on your side. The Gunther and Jay, great. This is what this needed. And it's sad that your older brother had to get bloodied and beat up, but I think this is the motivation that he would need to, I want Gunther to win, low-key, but like whatever. That's just me.
I got asked that. Does this segment make you want to see Jay get the win? I don't know if I want to see Jay get the win, or I'm just like already accepted Jay's gonna get the win.
That's right. Okay, that's fair. Me personally, I think this would make Gunther come out better as this championship run, because it hasn't been that good. I think this would seal it and make it okay. Now you're going towards the ending, and maybe give Jimmy another chance. I don't know, but I think that, I mean, not Jimmy, I mean Jay. Sorry, I would prefer, if it was Gunther, but they're probably going to be eating and having everyone,
I am disappointed I didn't get to eat. That was my only disappointment of going to the show. I wanted to eat.
Okay.
I've always seen it. It looks fun. I was live and I didn't get to eat. Very, very. I got honey eat instead of honey dick. I got honey eat. Josh, give us your thoughts on the Gunther and Uso segment.
I thought it was great. It was something that we kind of like alluded to. We were like, Gunther's not to beat the shit out of Jimmy for this, even either save it or whatever the case may be. And it did more than that. So, I mean, I was happy to see that. I was kind of glad, to the point. It's kind of fucked up, right? We're glad to see it. And it's like, damn, Jimmy he got bloodied up, and we're happy to see that. That's crazy. That's how bad the feud has been. Like we got to see another man get fucking demolished and almost killed on live TV for it to finally like save it. So, but I mean, it was good. It was good overall. Hopefully they kind of go away from this whole dumb shit with Jay being in his head. It didn't really need that. I think this was more needed more than anything. And as far as like, oh yeah, what they want me to, I've already accepted that Jay is gonna win. So it's like whatever they do to me, it's just like it's whatever at this point. I've already accepted that Jay's gonna win. I just hope he has a good performance because if he don't, the internet, they're not very forgivable. And he already had a bad matchup last year at WrestleMania. He needs to really show out some way, somehow. He really needs to show out in the match.
And he's in there with the best guy that he could do it with, because Gunther is one of the best wrestlers in WWE today. So I got faith. They just need to stick the landing now. They've turned things around where they have avoided the last spot. They like, if I had to do the ranking like we did last week, I think that the women's triple threat is closer to Jay and Gunther than last week. Last week, they had a lot of matches in between them. Now they're closer because they've been dragging out that women's triple threat build-up.
And I agree with that. I'm just fucking make it a triple threat. We don't need this honey dicking. Like, just fucking announce it.
We got some news to discuss as well. Both Travis Scott and The Rock were part of the John Cena heel turn at Elimination Chamber, but neither have been seen since. In fact, Cena has not mentioned The Rock since then, although Cody did during the promo on Monday Night Raw. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Scott is currently planned for WrestleMania 41, although it's unknown what he'll be doing. As for The Rock, everyone assumes he'll be at WrestleMania in some form, but that hasn't been confirmed as of yet. It's up to The Rock ultimately whether or not he appears. Since his status is up in the air, WWE has not been mentioning him on TV other than in passing. The Wrestling Observer newsletter notes that the original plan was for The Rock to help John Cena win the title at WrestleMania. Do you see The Rock showing up at WrestleMania 41? We'll do our usual 0 to 100 that The Rock will show up at WrestleMania. We'll start with Josh.
I'm gonna give it like a good 40%.
Ooh.
Wow, that's pretty low. I'm gonna go 75%. The Rock shows up to help John Cena get the win.
Damn, that's pretty high. I'll stick with 40.
Krssi?
I'm with SP actually. I was gonna go 85%.
There we go. Yeah, we got a bunch of people. We got Vala B who says 120%. Damn, he went super high.
I mean, I'm saying 40 because it's like The Rock don't even know what the fuck he's doing at this point.
Be fair, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, sir.
Like, he don't even know what he's doing. So it's like what the fuck?
Power Driver Finisher says 69%. I see what you did there. Nice. What Chase says 75 for Rock being at Mania. He'll be in town since TKO is the home base. And Bell says 60% for him. And then Cyclops Better Than Wolverine says, I'm honestly just rocked out. I'm tired of him half-assing.
Damn, Cyclops. Say it with your chest, son.
I mean, people. I mean, there's a lot of people who feel that way too, because it's just, and that's why it's a difficult thing, because when The Rock is on television or where he's doing is interesting, good or bad, but then when you take him off that equation, that's why the WrestleMania 41 thing has gone the way it's gone, because a big part of it is because of The Rock. And it's very unfortunate. We thought we were going to get a match with The Rock, and then, we've been getting anything else but that. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but, he's in the position he's at for a reason.
Earlier this week, Goldberg shared an update. They shared the ring crew he assembled as he prepares for his final match, which happens later this year. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that the former WCW and WWE World Champion has been training with Ross Marshall and Kevin Von Erich, along with former K1 kickboxer Tyrone Spunk. Goldberg and the Von Erichs live in Texas in the same area. Goldberg moved there from California so his son could take part in his high school football program. Kevin Von Erich moved his family from Hawaii for the same reason, so one of his grandsons could play in their football program. The belief is that the WWE Hall of Famer's last match will happen at SummerSlam, but that has not been confirmed as of yet. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep you updated on when we will see the Goldberg retirement match we've been talking about since October. In some contract news, Fightful Select reports that Karrion Kross is currently in the middle of his contract year in WWE, as his deal is believed to be expiring this summer. There's no word on if Kross has started negotiations with the company for a new deal at this time. People in WWE have been quote unquote ecstatic that Kross has been able to get himself over on social media with the segments he's had on Raw. This is Kross' second run with WWE, and he and Scarlett were released in November 2021, but were brought back in 2022. 0 to 100. Once again, we'll start with Krssi this time. That Karrion Kross re-signs. Where you at?
50%.
I'm gonna go with what you gave last time. 85%. He resigns.
Okay. Listen, you get a check and you don't gotta work. I do it too.
Exactly. He don't never get to wrestle. He wrestles on main event. I was surprised. I had to take a picture for Romeo since he loves Karrion Kross so much. I was like, I didn't even know your boy still wrestled when I saw him on main event when I was at O2. I was like, what's the name? Josh?
I'm gonna give it a good 60% because I think it's gonna go both ways. I think Karrion wants to stay, but the way WWE has been doing their negotiations now, it could go either way. It could be like, hey, one person wants to stay, but then they're like, no, we're just gonna let you go. So I'm at 60%.
We got 144% from Vala B. We have 80% from Power Driver Finisher.
What's up with this guy? What's up with the Steiner math he's doing today?
100%,
120%, and then 144. Like, he's just making up numbers.
100% Kross resigns. You got to put the dash there, brother. Resigns from Triple H loves that guy. We got 51% from Cyclops Better Than Wolverine. 80 for Karrion Kross as Chase. Triple H seems to like him. And we got 70% from Bell and 45% from Chuck Berries. He says he's going to start a podcast with your boy Romeo. LOL. We're gonna lose Romeo to Karrion Kross. Man, it's gonna be a tough day. It's gonna be a tough day for us at Tru Heel Heat.
No, he'll come crawling back. I'm not worried about that.
We got a super chat donation from our boy Vala B. Thank you so much, Vala B. You've been always showing your support, especially the last couple of weeks here on the flagship. We appreciate you. He says, Bret Hart, finally, Bill Goldberg is going to learn how to wrestle. ... in his 50s.
He's still not gonna be very good. Let's make that clear. He's getting a rank shape, and that's good. That's a good thing. But actually, he's not gonna be good.
And finally, before we finish up WWE with NXT and Evolve this week, PW Insider reports Janelle Grant's legal team has filed a motion in the United States District Court of Connecticut, urging the court to initiate the discovery phase of her lawsuit against Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE. This motion, filed on March 28th, seeks to enable both parties to exchange pertinent documents and information, effectively outlining their respective strategies and evidence before the court. This crucial step would allow for more transparent and informed legal process. However, McMahon and the other defendants are advocating for private operation, citing an arbitration clause within the non-disclosure agreement signed by Grant. They argue that a public courtroom setting is inappropriate and that initiating discovery now could lead to wasted resources if the court ultimately decides in favor of the arbitration. They also contend that Connecticut federal court rules permit a delay in discovery until the court resolves the arbitration question. As of yet, the court has not issued a ruling on whether arbitration is the appropriate course of action. In response, on March 28th, Grant's attorneys submitted a report detailing the scope of their intended discovery and proposing a timeline for the case. They are seeking access to a wide array of records, including internal WWE communications, potentially communications from anyone affiliated with the company. Furthermore, they are requesting records related to alleged payments made by McMahon to multiple women, WWE's policies regarding sexual harassment, and travel records for McMahon, Laurinaitis, and Brock Lesnar. The comprehensive request underscores Grant's team's determination to gather extensive evidence to support their claims. Like we always say with this is an ongoing thing. We don't know when this actual court case is going to begin, but we will continue to give you updates in regards to it as the weeks go on. But finally, we got to go to WWE NXT. They did 650,000 viewers this week. The show featured GM Ava, probably the worst GM. Yes, Adam Pearce, you no longer have that spot in WWE.
You know what?
After this week from Ava. Ava announced that Stephanie Vaquer is relinquishing the NXT Women's North American Championship after successfully defending both titles last week. Ava then announced that there will be a 6-way ladder match for the North American title at Stand and Deliver. Vaquer said she would only give up the title if she could pick her opponent for Stand and Deliver, which Ava accepted. This brought out Jordynne Grace and Jada Parker looking to be Vaquer's opponent, but security came out to separate both women before Grace tossed a security guard like he was Jazz on Fresh Prince to the floor. Later in the show, Grace and Parker brawled backstage to set up a singles match for next week. Zarya beat Lash Legend in a solid house fight, while Kalani Jordan defeated Roxanne Perez in a very good matchup for both Zarya and Kalani to qualify for the 6-way ladder match at Stand and Deliver. I thought the Kalani victory was an upset. I was really sure Roxanne was going to be in this 6-way ladder match, but apparently not. Javon Evans confronted Trick Williams about the trick shot knee from the week prior, and also accused him of turning into Carmelo Hayes and trying to keep him down like Melo did to him just last year. This brought out Oba Femi, who didn't want to hear from either man and didn't think either was worthy of taking his title. Finally, Ava came out to announce that Oba will face Trick and Javon for the NXT Championship in the main event of Stand and Deliver, before the Dark State faction came out and attacked all three men, including Trick Williams, after rumors online of Trick being the mystery leader of the group. It will be Oba, Trick, and Javon versus Dark State on next week's NXT. And finally, you had Ricky Saints defeated Sean Spears in a fun main event to win the NXT North American Championship. Post-match, Ethan Page attacked Saints from behind and laid him out with the twisted grin before raising the North American title belt. But instead of cheering for Ricky Saints or booing Ethan Page, these idiots in the Performance Center just chanted, "Tony fumbled."
Idiots. Told you, trolls. Fucking trolls.
I mean, Ricky did great in the matchup. Don't get me wrong. Ricky did great in the matchup. The match was really fun as the close, and he looked strong, beating up the whole culling. But man, those NXT fans fucking suck. I used to accuse them of being like a fucking slot machine of chants and cheers and boos for the people that WWE want them to cheer for, because they're mostly just friends and family. A lot of them don't even pay to go to these shows. But like they were awful during that main event. The Tony fumbled. It was fun the first time they did it. It was even fun when they did it at the beginning of this matchup. But to close the show with Tony fumble chants because Ethan Page and Ricky Starks are feuding over the secondary title in NXT, come on, y'all are lame.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought it was just more. I thought it was more dumb than anything, because it's like you're taking away from these two guys, right? You know, Ethan Page, regardless of what people say, like, oh yeah, Tony fumbled Ethan Page. I don't think that's the case at all. You know, and there's nothing bad to that. When it comes to Ricky Starks, you know, you can make an argument that, you know, Ricky could have been a guy who was going to be a world champion there, who could have been a world champion. But when you have so many talent the way that you have in AEW, I don't think that was going to happen regardless. So even with that, you know, Ricky left. This is what people wanted. Ricky left. He's doing what he's doing in NXT. That should be the focus point. It shouldn't be that the fucking owner of another company is the most over guy in the main event. That's kind of ridiculous in my opinion. And I get like what, you know, Krssi is right when it comes to like, oh yeah, it's dumb troll, but it's like, it's not a good troll. Like, you got to read the room sometimes. Like, this is not a good thing. And I believe, from what I heard, I think Ricky Saints did comment on that. Like, he did mention something about that, where he was like, he wants fans to like stop doing it. And I think rightfully so. It's like, if you want this man to succeed, can we stop having that crutch of, oh yeah, this person, it's like, it doesn't matter at this point. He's where he's at. Can we just focus on that? Like, give the guy a real chance. It's kind of pathetic that the most over guy, it's not even a wrestler, doesn't work for the company. And then also, these were the same fans that were doing that weird thing in the crowd during the match.
Ricky Strokes. I was like, y'all are virgins, huh?
No, and then when you see the video, like you see like the group of, I'm like, yeah, these are fucking basement dwellers that will do some shit like this. Like, they just look fucking sloppy. They look like they never been on a date in their lives. It's like, guys, like, what are we doing at this point? Like, what are we doing?
I mean, you know, you're giving all valid points, people, because you can look at certain people in the crowd and you're like, you have nothing else better to do.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I will give NXT credit. Yes, I do like the fact 2 years in a row we're gonna have an all-black main event at Stand and Deliver, and it's 3 brothers with dreads who are different characters. You got Obafemi, who's kind of this ruler, royalty type, like cocky champion. You got
he's like M'Baku, but he doesn't lose. That's the difference between him and M'Baku.
He's M'Baku with T'Challa strength. We got
that's exactly what it is.
We got Trick Williams,
but also a little bit of Hillmonger. Don't forget Hillmonger neither.
He does have a little bit of Killmonger in him as well. But we got the Killmonger in Trick, because Trick is kind of going to his dark side and being more aggressive now. And then you got the young nigga on the street who just wants to get his shot. Yo, I'm sorry, Javon cutting that promo. I was like, this is every 20-year-old I've ever fucking met of one of my nephew's friends. This is how they all talk. I love Javon Evans. I love Leon Slater, because
that's the emo kids. They're the emo kids. That's why.
Yo, has he also been putting on muscle too? Evans,
yeah,
like he's been putting on muscle, right?
Yes.
I noticed too. Yeah, like it's a good look for him. Like, I think, you know, I think he has like potential. I think he's a good kid. So it's good that he's mindful of stuff like that. Like, he just got to continue to like those little things are gonna matter along the way, like whatever he decides to do.
Yeah, but Ava sucks as a general manager because it makes no sense for Stephanie Vaquer to relinquish the title in that fashion. There was so many other creative ways to have her drop the title.
It's not even her fault. I feel like it's Sean's fault.
I mean, it is,
but
yeah.
she's
I mean,
booked to look like an idiot. She's booked to be like an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Like, why do we give her the 2 belts in the first place? We could have just had,
the whole thing is confusing. The whole thing, because it's like, right?
It's backwards.
Like the whole thing, right? And this is what I said, right? I think I said it when the relinquish was happening, right? I was like, so let me get this straight. They decided to do a champion versus champion match because the champion was banged up, but not injured. To their words, she's not injured.
Right.
Then, you have the moment, and then you have your champion defend the title on a show, on a TV show. Defend both titles, and then the following week she relinquishes the title. What? Like, what the fuck? Less than a month, by the way. Less than a month.
3 weeks. Like 3 weeks after the winner takes all match. 3 weeks.
3 weeks. I had it right. Okay.
And that's kind of been the problem that I've been having with NXT. Like, what I've been saying it for a while is like they kind of focus on like these big shows, like these big cards, like on the TV show, and then they kind of just fall back on that. And it just comes off like big moments. They care about the moments than like just progressing your. Because they did the same thing with Keith Lee. The Keith Lee thing happened.
Yes.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah, I remember that. I brought that up immediately on social media. I was like, this is exactly like Keith Lee. Keith Lee defended both titles against Dijak and then instantly gave up the title. But at least that was Keith Lee giving up the title, wanting to give an opportunity to other performers on the roster. This was the general manager telling Stephanie Vaquer she has to relinquish the title. So, like, even I had people in my chat like, oh no, it makes her look strong. It makes her look like she's a person of the people. I was like, no, it doesn't, because Ava made her give up the title. She didn't just give up the title. Ava made her.
I mean, I don't know how people could really kind of defend this. I didn't like it at all.
It's them not knowing what they want to do. This is them WWE at its finest, not really paying attention, and it's all about the big moments. That's it.
Yeah, and I think that's where they kind of fucked up at. I think that's where they kind of like, fucked up at, where it's like, yeah, you fucking focused more on fucking what was that, Roadblock. You focused more on that to be like a big thing because you were with the TNA stars, and then wait, we have Stand and Deliver that starts at 9:30 a.m.
in the morning,
Vegas. I don't know. I didn't like it at all, and then the fact that people are trying to it makes her look no, it fucking doesn't. She just defended the title last week, and then you have her drop it. What is there to defend? It's stupid. Yeah, it's fucking dumb. And if it's dumb, just say it's dumb. It's okay to say it's dumb, people. Like, it's okay. You don't have to always defend WWE on their bullshit.
Yeah, WWE doesn't need you to defend them. But we have to talk about the news too, because as previously reported, Julia hasn't appeared on television since NXT Roadblock, although she did show up at a live event recently. Fightful Select reports that the former NXT Women's Champion has been at the Performance Center recently, but ever since Roadblock hasn't taken part in any classes. There is a rumor that she had an ankle injury, but that is unconfirmed at this time. WWE was hopeful that she could return soon, and she showed up at a live event and competed in the ring. So this makes everything even dumber. You're telling me you did all of this and she's probably going to be back by Stand and Deliver? You are fucking idiots.
That's why I don't get it. You could have had her off TV. You could have had her like, it's fine. Your champion could be off TV. I didn't get it at all. I just don't. I don't understand it, and that's why I'm like, when people ask, hey, how come you like NXT? This is kind of the reason why I don't like NXT. I can't really invest in NXT because they do shit like this.
It's what it is at this point.
Right?
You can't even explain it. It's just up NXT gonna NXT. It's like TNA. A new report has some of the names of talent who attended last weekend's UK tryout. Fightful Select reports that the March 29th tryout, including the likes of Rio, Golden Boy Santos, Zoya, Mike, Man Like Darius, Luke Jacobs, Bionic of Gladiators, Nathan Angel, Rain Lervis, Danny Jones, and Adam Maxt. There was also talent from other sports like the previously noted Vago Rivera. Sources indicated that Man Like Darius received heavy praise from WWE's people at the event in particular, and the event included drills, promo class, tryout matches, with the tryouts continuing through Sunday. WWE Evolve this week. The show featured Wendy Chu beating Kylie Ray in the main event. You also had Brenly Reese defeated Zeta Steele in a solid opener. Keanu Carver beat Luca Crucifino, while Harlem Lewis defeated Joe Coffey in singles action as well. So Gallus lost, so it's a thumbs up show for me. AEW, going over to AEW with AEW Dynamite this week. The show did 594,000 viewers on TBS. The show featured Swerve Strickland and Willow Nightingale in tag team action, defeating John Moxley and Marina Shafir of the Death Riders in a very fun mixed tornado tag team opener. Post-match, though, John Moxley got a measure of revenge as he delivered a paradigm shift DDT to Willow. This led to Swerve promising to get his hands on Mox before the end of the night. Later, we saw Strickland looking for the AEW World Champion until Hangman Adam Page confronted his longtime rival. Hangman says that he promises to never let Strickland win the AEW World Championship, while Swerve told him to let it go. Page says that you broke into my house. Swerve responded, you burnt down my house. Hangman said, you deserved it, while Swerve responded, I know. Shocking Page before he walked off. But this led to Mox and the Death Riders then jumping Swerve, dragging him to the ring where Claudio Ricola bombed him into glass. But Swerve did not let that keep him down. He sat up like the Undertaker and no-sold it, showing Mox that it's going to take much more than that to beat him at AEW Dynasty. The brackets for the Owen Hart Cup were revealed. Two of the participants in the Owen Hart Cup were Will Ospreay and Kevin the Jet Knight. They picked up a victory over Lee Johnson and Blake Christian in a pretty fun tag team matchup. Post-match, Tony Schiavone announced that Ospreay will face Knight in an Owen Hart Cup quarterfinal matchup at Dynasty. Brody King defeated Lance Archer in a decent hoss fight before Brody faces Konosuke Takeshita in the Owen Hart Cup. Timeless Tony Storm beat Penelope Ford in a solid match. Post-match, Megan Bayne came down to stare down with the champion from the entranceway, while Cope defeated Claudio Castagnoli in the show's main event. What did you think about Dynamite this week, Krssi?
I thought Dynamite was a great show this week. I love the Hangman and Swerve interaction, because that story is still not finished. It's still there, still to be continued. And I love that they keep having them like cross paths still, even after their match. So I love it. That's it on my end.
Oh, Josh, what did you think about Dynamite this week?
I mean, yeah, Dynamite was cool. I thought last week was better than this past week.
Yeah.
But the Swerve and Hangman stuff, I mean, every time they go on TV,
good.
Great
stuff.
It's like natural chemistry, bro. It's like they make it fucking work, and that's what I like about it.
Yep.
Right? To the point that it's like they could have these many matches, and the point is like it doesn't even matter because we know how great they're gonna be. And besides that, I did like the mixed tag team match. I like the fact that they were teasing like, like if Swerve was gonna do this to Shafir or Mox was gonna do that to Willow, and then
held them hostage.
Yeah,
a hostage situation in the match.
and then they end up getting like Swerve did the kick to but that was an accident. It was clearly an accident. And then Mox did the
accident.
Yeah, he did the paradise drop because of Noah Willow. He dead and just grabbed her and did it. So like, it was great. It was great. I thought it was great when it came to that, and then they put some suspense of Swerve being pissed about it and all that stuff, and then like the ending segment where Swerve landed on glass. Shout outs to Phil Brooks there.
It wasn't real glass; it was sugar glass because Swerve wasn't bleeding from the back
at all. It was just stuck on his back. I was like,
yeah,
guys, no way to sell that stuff.
I mean, you can't. I mean, it was and imagine they did. People, imagine like that. There would be a bigger uproar with that. It's like, guys, you just had the spike spot, and now you're doing glass in the back.
True.
Yo, they would have. They would have had a field
the whole week.
They would have had a field day on that shit.
But let's do some bracketology, why don't we? And talk about the Owen Hart Cup brackets, which were revealed on Dynamite this week. You got the men's bracket, which we got here. We got on the left-hand side, top left-hand side, you got Will Ospreay versus Kevin the Jet Knight. That will go down at Dynasty. On the bottom left-hand side, we got Brody King versus Konosuke Takeshita. Who do you got coming out of these first-round matchups, Krssi Love? You're muted.
Sorry. I said, damn. I really want Brody, but they're not going to do it. They just won't let Brody win. They're giving him the Finn Balor effect. I think it's going to be Ospreay and Takeshita. Fletcher. Who's going to be the wild card is the question. Mark is not winning. Fletcher.
Well, we're just doing the left-hand side first.
Sorry. All right, so Takeshita and Ospreay.
Yeah, that's it. The men's bracket is so easy to predict, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's so sad. Who won last year? Didn't he win last year, Will?
Well, this is the thing that AEW usually does with their men's brackets, because I said this from like the Eliminator back in 2020. They make it very obvious who's gonna be in the finals of these tournaments, and for the men's bracket, it's very easy to predict what's gonna go down here. So I agree with you. Ospreay and Takeshita on the left-hand side. Josh, do you think any different?
No. I got Ospreay and Takeshita. They're going to be fun matches, and I think that's what it comes down to. I think both matches are going to be fun. I know there were some people complaining about Kevin Knight being in it, but I don't mind it too much. He is your signing. He is your new signing, and, if he loses, it doesn't really hurt him. No. Because, you know why? It's the dumbest fucking reason. First of all, they said that this was AEW trying to be petty because obviously the rumors that came out that Kevin Knight had to try out with WWE. WWE was interested.
We're gonna get to that.
Yeah, that's basically why. It's a stupid fucking reason. I'm like, he's gonna be in a he's in a fucking tournament that he's gonna lose. Who gives a fuck? And it's gonna be a fun matchup. So who cares?
So it seems like everybody in the chat agrees with us. So we'll just finish up with the left-hand side. It's going to be Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita. That's what we all are predicting. Who wins that? I think it's quite obvious. It's Will Ospreay.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, what about you?
On the left-hand side? I mean, on the right hand?
The semifinals. Who you think? Ospreay versus Takeshita. Who goes to the finals?
Ospreay.
Krssi, you agree?
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot who I was asking. You're the number one Ospreay fan here.
Of course. We don't.
Right-hand side, we got Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe, number 4. That's going down on Sunday at Dynasty. And then the bottom half, we got Hangman Adam Page versus the wild card. My prediction for the wild card, I've thrown out a bunch of names between In the Weeds. I did predictions for Dynasty on Sports Illustrated's YouTube channel. Did our preview yesterday with Maggie and J News. I'm adamant now. I'm going with Cedric Alexander as the wild card. But either way, Hangman Adam Page wins. I'm going with Hangman versus Kyle
Wait,
Fletcher
hold on,
in the
stop.
semifinals. What?
Cedric comes out as the wild card and loses?
Yes, because when he loses and he's depressed backstage, then MVP comes up and hands him a card to join the Hurt Syndicate. It all works out. That's why I said, yeah, I want someone who's going to be the wild card, because whoever is the wild card, they have to lose to Hangman. Hangman has to go far in this tournament. He's one of the biggest stars in this, but it has to be someone that can lose to Hangman. I don't want it to be Josh Alexander, because Josh Alexander should come in and win. So it should be Cedric Alexander, because him losing can play into his storyline of him joining the Hurt Syndicate. So that's why I'm going with Cedric Alexander. Then I'm going, Cedric loses to Hangman and Kyle Fletcher in the semifinals. So, Krssi, who you got as the wild card, and who's in the semifinals on the right-hand side?
Wild card, Ricochet. But he gets beat by Hangman, and then so it's going to be Hangman and Kyle Fletcher. Fletcher winning it, though.
Oh, you got Fletcher beating Hangman?
Yes.
Okay. Josh, who you got as the wild card, and who's in the semifinals?
Josh?
Oh, I think Josh is frozen. I think Josh is frozen.
We lost him? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like,
he looks frozen. He looks frozen on my end.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think yeah, your guys are probably right. They say Cedric is probably in his 90 days. So if it's not Cedric, then Bishop Dyer, Baron Corbin is the wild card. Why not?
Ooh, I like that one.
Bishop Dyer, Baron Corbin as the wild card, and they're still gonna lose. Doesn't matter who's the wild card, honestly. Hangman wins. Hangman and Kyle Fletcher in the semifinals, and I'm going with Hangman to make it to the finals. Hangman versus Ospreay at Double or Nothing. Josh, who you got on the right side for the wild card, and who is in the semifinals, and then who wins the semifinals to go to the finals?
So the first matchup, I got Fletcher winning. Second matchup, I have Hangman winning. The wild card, I think it's if Cedric is available, I do think it's going to be Cedric, because I think even if he takes a loss, that'll be, that would kind of like, it wouldn't really hurt him in that aspect. I know people were saying like Alexander. I don't think Alexander is the choice, because he's somebody that cannot lose in his first matchup. Like the way his signing needs to be and how you present him, I don't think that will be. I don't think you have him face Hangman and lose. Because I think either way, whoever it is losing to Hangman. And then from there, from Fletcher and Hangman, I got Hangman winning.
So me and Josh got Hangman versus Ospreay at Double or Nothing. Krssi has Fletcher versus Ospreay 4. Who do you got, Krssi, winning that?
Will Ospreay.
Josh, who you got winning Ospreay versus Hangman?
I got Hangman.
I also got Hangman winning. But that choice may change depending on who wins at Dynasty in the main event. But the women's bracket laps this men's bracket, because you have as many as 4 different people that could possibly win this in so many different ways. So the left-hand side of the bracket, we got Jamie Hayter versus Billy Starks. Bottom half, we got Thunder Rosa versus Chris Statlander. Krssi, how do you think the left-hand side is going to go? Who wins the first round? Who wins the semifinals to go to the finals?
Hayter beats Starks. Statlander beats Rosa.
And then who wins Statlander versus Hayter?
Statlander.
Josh, how do you see the left-hand side going?
Why did they put Athena on this side? They should put Athena on the other side.
This is the smartest thing to do. It would have been too obvious. It's going to be Athena versus Mercedes in the finals.
Right.
This is how you make it unpredictable. Now I don't know what's going to happen for sure. I can't say for sure who's going to win this tournament, because they put Mercedes and Athena on the same side.
Correct. Right. Okay. You're right.
Josh,
this is
see the left-hand side going.
Yeah, because this is interesting because I could easily say hater, but I don't think right now Billy Starks would be pretty easy as people think, just because Athena is around now. I'll go with the safe bet. I'll go with hater and Statlander.
And who wins Hater versus Statlander?
I'm gonna lean with Statlander.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's quite obvious what we're going with on the right hand side. You got Julia Hart versus Mercedes at Dynasty on Sunday. You got Harley Cameron versus Athena on the bottom half side. It's Mercedes versus Athena for me, obviously. And I think it's probably going to be in Boston as Spring Breakthrough. So I will go with Mercedes winning that to go to the finals. On the left-hand side, I'm going with Hater to beat Billy Starks, Statlander to beat Thunder Rosa, and I will go with Statlander beating Hater to give us Statlander versus Mercedes 3.
Oh, see?
I like it.
So who you got on the right-hand side? How do you see the right-hand side going, Krssi?
Right-hand side, Monet and Athena. Monet beating Athena.
And Josh, who you got?
Same. I got Mercedes. Then Athena got winning her match, and then I got Mercedes winning.
And then in the finals, I think Josh, you have on the left-hand side, you got Hater coming into the finals, right?
Statlander.
Okay, so we all got Statlander versus Mercedes in the finals. I'm going with Statlander to win the tournament.
Same. I want Statlander to win. Give Mercedes her first loss.
Josh?
I got Statlander winning.
I don't know if that's going to be possible, but okay.
I don't know either. I think there's a world where Mercedes just wins to set up her going for her 5th title at All In.
It's not even a real title, though.
What are you talking about? The AEW Women's World Championship? The winner of the Owen Cup gets the shot at the world title.
Oh, I thought you meant the Owen Hart.
No, I'm not talking about the Owen.
Okay,
but she will probably walk around with that too.
She will make it a thing. She will make it a thing.
And that's what I'm saying.
She will make it a thing. Yeah,
that's what I meant. That's what I meant that by. I was like, that's not even a real belt, guys. That's like you just want a competition, sis. Like you didn't even girl. But she would make it work, and it's so stupid that it would be great. Shout out to Harley Cameron for another great segment that she did on Wednesday.
She's so good, so good. Put Harley Cameron with Mercedes. We keep saying this. Just do it.
It'll be so good because she would be so annoyed, but she would be so happy to have her.
Oh, and did you also see that interview where I think they asked her about that, about the puppet? You saw that?
Mercedes is the one who came up with the puppet idea. Because she found out that Harley does ventriloquism, and she was like, you should do a Mercedes Muppet.
And whoever made the Muppet is better than a Lily doll. Just saying, it's just better than a Lily doll. Just saying. All right, so we'll see if our predictions work out as the tournament goes on. But we have some news to discuss as well, because unfortunately, one person who was supposed to be in the tournament no longer is, as Switchblade Jay White was said to be injured on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite, and a new report had an update on his status. Wednesday night's show saw it mentioned that White was attacked and injured by the Death Riders, and resulting in his removal from the Owen Hart Cup. Fightful Select reports that White was written out due to a legitimate injury, with the storyline created to explain the injury. It's not clear what the specific injury was at that time, but it is confirmed to be legitimate and that White is expected to undergo surgery. The company has reportedly had to make some significant changes in creative as a result of White's removal from the tournament. Fightful Select also reports that Orange Cassidy is out of action as he recently suffered an injury. Sources said that the early word is that he may have a torn pectoral muscle. Oh my God.
It's unknown when.
Sorry, my bad.
It's unknown when the injury occurred. His last match was a 4-way against Ricochet, Mark Davis, and Speedball Mike Bailey 2 weeks ago. As a result of the injury, he has backed out of several appearances he was scheduled for, and it's unknown when he will return or if he plans for surgery. PW Insider had a report confirming Fightful's report on Jay White and reporting that he has a broken hand, while Orange Cassidy does in fact have a torn pectoral muscle. On behalf of everyone at Tru Heel Heat, our best wishes to White and Orange Cassidy for a quick and full recovery. Also, Fightful Select reported that Mark Davis suffered an injury as well. That's going to keep him out of action anywhere between 4 to 8 weeks. So we want to send our best to Mark Davis as well. So 3 big names, because Mark Davis had been getting featured a lot more on AEW television as of late with the Don Callis family. Switchblade Jay White was going to be a favorite in the Owen Hart Cup and definitely would have made the Owen Hart Cup a lot more interesting being a part of it. And Orange Cassidy, of course, is one of the stars of AEW since day one. So who do you think out of those is the biggest loss for AEW right now, Krssi?
I'd say Orange Cassidy.
Okay.
I mean, I would have picked Jay White, but I feel like they feature more on Orange than Jay, if that makes sense.
I would have said Jay White because Jay has been he was one of the guys that I think, like I said, he would have made this Owen Hart men's tournament a lot more interesting and kind of thrown things for a loop a little bit where it's not so obvious that it's Hangman and Ospreay in the finals.
Because I would have liked to see him take Brody's spot and go against Takeshita.
That would have been good. That would have been a great match. Great match to do. Josh,
all right,
what about you?
I'll say it and say Jay White.
Fair.
Because that is my boo.
I would say Jay White. Obviously because of the tournament, but he was being featured more as well. So I would say Jay. Jay a little bit more when it comes to that. Someone like Mark Davis, he was being more featured too, but to an extent on his own way. But also, I mean, it's just unfortunate because he's been getting injured a lot, like the last 2-3 years. So I think that's why it's kind of more on a personal standpoint. It's damn, he can catch a fucking break. I mean, at least best case is I think for Mark Davis is 4 to 8 weeks. So you're looking at a month or 2 that he might be out. Orange Cassidy, I mean, that hurts too. And his is a lot longer because of torn, that's not easy to come back from. But yeah, I would say Jay White.
Yeah, Jay White is definitely a big loss. But Jay's injury, usually it would be a quick turnaround, but he's getting surgery. That's the key, Chase. That's the key to all of this. Even if it's just a broken hand, it still require surgery. And surgery, usually you're going to take some time to recover from that. All Elite Wrestling this week announced the schedule change or a schedule of events for AEW All In Texas Week, which will include StarCast and an ROH pay-per-view. It was also announced that the pay-per-view on July 12th will begin at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on July 12th. Here's the schedule. July 9th, AEW Dynamite from the Curtis Caldwell Center in Garland, Texas. July 10th, live episode of AEW Collision at Curtis Caldwell Center in Garland. July 11th, ROH Death Before Dishonor at Esports Arena and Arlington. July 11th and 12th, StarCast from the Sheraton Arlington. And July 12th, All In Texas from Globe Life Field in Arlington. This is going to make All In a destination event, which I've been calling for them to do for about a year. And especially having an ROH event, ROH pay-per-view before AEW, that's going to get more people to come out to the ROH show. So it's a move in the right direction, in my opinion. But talking about moves in the right direction, AEW, of course, made the move to Max with simulcast starting in 2025. A new report by BJ Bethel with SE Scoops has an update on the viewership numbers for AEW Dynamite. According to the report, sources claim that Dynamite has been averaging 500,000 viewers on Max since the show debuted on the streamer earlier this year. This would put Dynamite on an average of about 1.1 to 1.2 million viewers per week, along with the live viewers of the show on TBS. AEW Dynamite reportedly averages 60 million minutes watched per week, with a deviation of plus slash minute 10% to 20% depending on the episode and its programming competition. The report adds that typical Nielsen viewership numbers aren't necessarily as important to streaming platforms, with the minutes watched for Dynamite averaging 500,000 viewers per episode live plus one. That accounts for viewers who watch the show live on the app and for the following 24 hours. Additionally, the report that also notes that large deviations from week to week also affect the total streaming minutes. Dave Meltzer also commented on the report on Tuesday's Wrestling Observer Radio. According to Meltzer, AEW streaming numbers are kept under lock and key, and no one in AEW knows the numbers for sure. Meltzer added on that AEW not knowing about Dynamite streaming numbers, they have an idea, but they don't know them. Meltzer also stated that the numbers being quoted by Bethel's report are likely a roundabout number, adding that it's probably not the average number of viewership, which would probably be similar to the Nielsen number, but the number of people who logged in at some point. Meltzer continued that while it's possible that the number from the SE Scoots report is accurate, that doesn't mean it's 600,000 television viewers and another 500,000 streaming. He then estimated that the viewership number was closer to 1.5 million television viewers and another 500,000 viewers from streaming, which would be closer to 2 million viewers for Dynamite across both TBS and Max. AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery have not announced any viewership figures for Dynamite on Max, but these are clearly a good thing. This report is a good thing towards AEW if it does get corroborated and confirmed at some point. So it's a step in the right direction for them.
Correct. I agree.
Yeah,
I watch it on Max, so
yeah, it's good. And it was more funny seeing the uproar of it. People were very upset that apparently AEW is successful. I think that was the funniest part to me. They're upset, but then it's like, oh, but you had no problems when there's a lot of bad faith reporting by Eric Bischoff and that cunt from from NY that we all know. He knows who he is.
Who are we talking about?
No, don't. We're not gonna promote him here.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. He knows.
Okay.
Yeah, if you know, you know. If you know, you know him. They were reporting, they were making fake reports, right? Fake reporting of they don't have a deal. WWD doesn't want to deal with them. And then, they got paid. Nobody wanted to say nothing. So now because numbers came out, and from what I understand, the reporter who did report on it is pretty credible. From what I understand.
He's the one that originally reported the TV deal.
Yeah. So if you're talking about somebody who's credible, I mean, right? So he's not gonna be the person that's just gonna make up anything. And then I did see that one user who had like 400 followers, he made like a bunch of fake numbers of like revenue.
Made up a fake spreadsheet.
Did he really of the numbers of AEW?
Yeah, some person was like AEW's losing like $700 million per year, and it was all made up on like Microsoft Word.
Yeah, it was all.
I don't understand, Josh. Why do we even discussing this? We don't even need to bring these people up. They don't matter. They're
have nothing else to do,
and we're only helping them. We're helping them matter and helping people look them up by even mentioning them here.
Hey, they look them up and shit on them. I'm all for it. That's why I do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You mean call them out? Okay, got it.
Yeah.
AEW Collision last Saturday, they did 339,000 viewers. The show featured Mercedes Mone beating Robin Renegade. Post-match, Mone cut a promo putting down Billy Starks and whoever trained her. Mercedes then declared for the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament before Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Athena came out to return to AEW and confront Mercedes, laying her out with a forearm. Athena then went for the O-face until Robin Renegade pushed Monet out of the way and took it for herself. Later, Athena and Billy Starks declared for the Owen Hart Cup. Then Jamie Hayter, Thunder Rosa, and Chris Statlander all declared for the Owen as well, with Rosa and Stat teasing a matchup, which will go down in the first round. Finally, Jamie Hayter picked up a victory over Billy Starks in a very good main event to the show. Post-match, Hayter stared down with Athena from the entranceway. Jay White defeated Kevin Knight in a very good opener. Post-match, Kevin Knight, Switchblade put over Kevin Knight, giving him the endorsement and cut a promo about being in the Owen Hart Cup. Unfortunately, he's not going to be in it anymore, though. Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole had a face-to-face confrontation in the ring to talk about their rivalry and past matches before agreeing to one more match with no time limit, no outside interference for the TNT title at Dynasty. Wheeler Yuta beat Dax Hardwood in another very good matchup. Post-match, Dax freaked out on the referee and tried to attack him until security came out to separate him. Then Cash Wheeler came out to take the security off of his partner until Dax accidentally pushed him down. Cash thinking that Cash was one of the security guards. FTR then had an intense confrontation until Cash walked out on Dax. The most interested I've been in FTR in 2 years. Congratulations.
So they want to break FTR up? Is that where we're going?
No, I think they're just teasing all types of dissension and rated FTR, but we'll see what happens at Dynasty. We'll give our predictions to close the show on today's show. But talking about this show was very much focused on the women, and I think it was for the better. This was probably the best episode of Collision this year.
I loved it. I really loved it. I thought it was a really great episode. And, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, it makes Collision important, regardless of what people want to complain about. It makes Collision watchable. It makes it. That's what you have to do with your shows. People wanted Collision to matter. This is how you make Collision matter. And I like the fact that Athena had 3 fucking appearances on the show. She had 3 segments basically. That's good. That's good for somebody who hasn't been on AEW programming in a while. So it makes her feel important, and I enjoyed seeing that.
Yeah. We got Chase who says Collision quietly has become one of the best weekly wrestling shows this year. So it's been very consistent. It's been very consistent so far this year, and especially the connection to Dynamite as well. The highly anticipated showdown between Mercedes Mone and Athena is seemingly accelerating, with reports suggesting a potential clash sooner rather than later. Fightful Select's recent report of AEW's plans for the matchup, possibly as early as AEW Dynasty, was further fueled by their in-ring confrontation on Collision, while speculation initially pointed to the All In Texas event. Given Athena's regional connection, alternative creative directions are being explored. The strategic placement of Monet and Athena in the Owen Hart Cup strongly indicates a deliberate build-up, while AEW Dynasty remains unconfirmed, but it was confirmed that Mercedes will be facing Julia Hart there. Fightful Select reports that there have been pitches for Monet to start a program with the Renegade sisters for a long time now. Everyone involved has been hoping for it to happen for some time, and it seems that Collision was the start of it. Adding to the evolving narrative, Monet's renewed collaboration with the Renegades, resulting in a matchup against Robin Renegade, signals a developing storyline. So we'll see what happens there. But also on Collision, it was confirmed that AEW President Tony Khan has signed Kevin the Jet Knight. He confirmed the signing on Twitter after his matchup on Saturday's Collision. He wrote, "Congratulations, it's official. After a fantastic performance at Saturday night's AEW Collision tonight at Jet 2 Fly, Kevin Knight is all elite." PW Insider reports that Kevin Knight was invited to a WWE tryout at the Performance Center in Orlando several weeks ago. He had the tryout, but he ultimately decided to go to All Elite Wrestling. Fightful Select had more details on Knight's signing. Knight's NJPW contract had expired in January during the week of Wrestle Kingdom 19. While NJPW was very interested in retaining Knight, many reportedly expected him to land a contract with a promotion in the United States during his free agency. Knight later met with Tony Khan and Rocky Romero in early February, when he also worked in ROH TV taping and wrestled AR Fox. He was also reportedly looking to have talks with WWE. With regards to the earlier PW Insider report that Knight was invited to a WWE tryout, a longtime staff member with the Performance Center said, "I'm not sure what more they needed to see. He wrestled in New Japan, CMLL, AEW, Ring of Honor, MLW, and TNA. There are looks at this guy on every other stage but ours. Glad we were at least trying, though." Fightful notes that WWE did have interest in Knight, and had he signed with the company, he likely would have started in NXT. Additionally, Fightful reports that sources within TNA believe Knight wouldn't be showing up there again unless he signed with WWE. He previously made multiple appearances for TNA Wrestling between January and March of 2024. He worked multiple MLW shows last year as well. Do you think Kevin Knight made the right decision? I mean, WWE's inviting you for a fucking tryout when you've had that much experience. I would have said fuck you too and take the big money from Tony Khan.
Absolutely. I think he did the right decision. Like, they wasn't really trying to sign him. I think they were just trying to cock block and like keep him away from them.
Yeah.
And he would have missed out on something really big. And you know what? Know your worth, bro. Like, don't deal with it. Take that good check from Tony Khan. You be all right.
Yeah. Josh, you happy to see Kevin Knight sign with AEW?
Yeah, I think it's a good decision for him. And it's like you said, he's gonna go to WWE, you know, and it's like you're gonna have the guy train for something he's already been doing. There's people, you know, I didn't see the point of that, you know. Like, I think the guy is good enough. I think he's proven himself enough already, which I'm not saying like, hey, he's gonna be like, you know, world champ, whatever the case may be. But he's done enough for him to not be like, oh, well, we're gonna start him off the PC Center, or we're gonna have you try out. What having you not like that you want him to try out? You know what I mean? Like, it's just he made the right call. 100%.
I agree. All right, it's time for our latest edition of As the Swerve Turns. Booker T has responded to Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland's conversation with Vlad TV has been making waves for over a week now at this point, with many outlets singling out his comment made in direction to Booker T. Where he discussed how he was treated he wasn't treated fairly when Vince McMahon used the N-word in a segment back in 2005. Booker T is responding to Strickland, revealing that he had a face-to-face conversation with him this last weekend on his Hall of Fame podcast, where he said, "I was at an event this weekend in Richmond, Virginia. Lo and behold, who was at the same event with me, actually as part of the same party? It was literally the first person I ran into the morning of the event. Just like Swerve Strickland said, me having the same the energy when Vince McMahon said the N-word. Rest assured, I had the energy when I saw him, because I approached Swerve Strickland and I had a conversation with Swerve Strickland. Let's talk about this conversation with Swerve Strickland." He continued on, revealing that he's been contacted for a Vlad TV interview in the past, and detailed a bit of his conversation with Strickland, saying that he was disappointed in him. He said, "I had an offer to be on Vlad TV before as well, and I turned it down. They called me back and they offered me money to go on Vlad TV, and I turned it down because I was not going to go on Vlad TV and be exploited. I wasn't going to go on Vlad TV and have him make me look like a fool in front of the world. I was not going to do that. I wasn't going to go on Vlad TV and say anything negative towards any black man that's ever been in this business, because I know how hard it is for all of us. I've been the first one saying it. My brother getting his bag. I'm all in 100%. I told Swerve Strickland to his face how disappointed I am in him as a young brother, because all I did for Swerve Strickland was put him over and put him on a pedestal as being one of the best out there, that he deserves to be in the AEW champion. For him to say something like that about me, I don't know if these guys think racism stopped in 1990 when I got in the business, but it didn't. You may not hear about a lot of racial issues with Booker T because I handle racial issues firsthand. I opened doors and I broke barriers for people like Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland would perhaps not even be here if it wasn't for me. I have to apologize for nothing that I've done in this business because I've gone out there and I have literally represented in the ring and out of the ring from day one. Following that, Booker T revealed that he told Strickland he got played by Vlad TV, saying that you speak on Vince McMahon and him saying the N-word. You want me to be angry black man in the company? You want me to not open doors and make spaces for people like you? That's what you want me to do? Swerve Strickland, I hope you're never going to be in the movies. I hope you're never going to be on a movie set because you might hear somebody say the N-word, and if you've got a problem with it, they're going to tell your ass to get the hell out of here. And this is a movie, all right? I'm upset that because more importantly, I'm disappointed in Swerve Strickland because what I told him, I'll repeat it just like I repeated it to him. You got played. You got played, bro. You got played. You let that man play you and pitch you against me and me against you. I don't know how many stories you've ever heard about that on Vlad TV, but there's many of them. There's many stories out there about the black man against the black man because Vlad is pitting them against each other. The focus then shifted to Strickland's comments about the lack of black stars on WWE premium live events, with Booker saying that guys might need to work up to his level. I hear people like Swerve Strickland talk about there's not a lot of black representation on the PLEs this day. Well, damn it, I didn't have to worry about that in my day. I was on all of them. I was on all the pay-per-views, all right? I was main eventing some of them as well. I don't know what the hell he was talking about as far as that goes. Maybe it's a drop-off as far as talent. Maybe guys need to work up to my level and really think about themselves in a position and say, hey, man, let's forget about this black thing and let's throw it all in and see how good we are. Let's do it the way I did, all right? We don't got to start nothing on social media or nothing like that. Let's just see how good we are. I could have sank all the way to the bottom in WWE just like so many others did before me. More importantly, most of those guys are white guys. I'm just saying. It's about how talented I was. As far as he is, it's about how talented he is. It's about how talented every other black person that gets what they get. Don't just throw a tag on them saying because they're black. It's ridiculous for him to speak on something like that and make it about that because he had a bad experience. Bro, that's like painting everybody the same way. I don't put myself in the category with everybody else. I just don't. On turning down Vlad TV's comments that he said, Vlad posted to Twitter, basically coming out and counteracting what Booker's claim was, sharing DMs from July of 2020 that appeared to depict Booker being willing to do an interview. Vlad posted on social media, Booker T is lying. Booker was excited to do Vlad TV and was at the studio with our cameraman. I ran late that day, which is why the interview never happened. Here is the DM of the conversation in 2020. Booker T then posted to Twitter on Thursday with screenshots from September 2020 to January 2021, where he appears to ignore several attempts by Vlad to reach out before finally saying thanks, but no thanks. Vlad then offers an appearance fee a couple of days later as the last shown messages in the screenshots, and Booker wrote in his tweet, "If I'm lying, I'm dying." But Vlad TV has replied to Booker writing 100% lying. You happily agreed to do the interview and even showed up to the studio. Here's our initial DMs again. I ran late and you stormed out. I tried to reschedule and you were in your feelings. Making a video saying you turned down Vlad TV because I get people locked up, but forgetting to mention that you actually showed up to a Vlad TV interview is ridiculous. Booker has been vocal in responding to criticism on Twitter this week, having also posted to respond to criticism of having appeared at Chasen Rance's Team Vision Dojo school and appeared in a photo with him. That criticism began yesterday after Rance was reportedly arrested after violating the terms of his sex offender registration. Not a good week for Booker T. I may have to redo who I gave worst of the week to. I mean, I said it on AE Ramble. I'll just repeat it here. These guys are two with Booker, with the whole Booker and Swerve thing. These guys are two of the same. Like, they're two the same. Where I don't think that they are racist or allow racism, but I also think that there are two guys who say, if I'm getting mine, I'm fine. They're not like how I said with AJ Francis. AJ Francis looks out for his people like he did for BFAB. I don't think Swerve is like that, and I sure as hell don't think Booker T is like that. Booker T has gone against his own brother doing a lawsuit against WWE because he is hello, my baby, hello, my darling, hello, my baby child. I am an Uncle Tom.
He's the guy from
I want to be in the house.
He's the guy from Django. He's Sam Jackson in Django.
Oh my God.
Shit. I ain't even go that far.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot to say about it because I kind of participated in that, and I posted that same photo on Twitter, and my tweet blew up, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, I had a lot of cosigns, by the way. I'm not going to mention who co-signed a lot that I posted because I don't want to drag them in that. It has to do with basically when the headline said that Booker T was disappointed with Swerve with his comments and doing the interview with Vlad. I posted that same photo that was just shown, and I said this is a lot more disappointing. And the reason why I said that is because Booker T, even his response to that, I didn't like his response to that. He responded to that. I just didn't. I don't 100% buy it because, from what I understand, he was a guest. He was like a guest trainer at like the guy's place, whatever. He was a guest trainer like 3 or 4 times. That was the part that Booker T left out.
And like, how does everyone knows that will see that name and know you're too much in the wrestling business and wrestling training to not know his reputation. Chance and Reigns. Like that's ridiculous. That was a ridiculous response by Booker. That's why I didn't even mention his response because it wasn't worth mentioning because he's lying again.
Yeah, because his response was like he doesn't do. I'm like, bro, like his background checks. I'm like, you have to like you're associated with WWE. You have your name does hold a lot of weight, a lot of credibility. These are things that you need to know. Now, what I'm getting at is when it comes to that person, I don't think. Obviously, I do believe Booker T doesn't condone none of that stuff. He doesn't have to respond to that. My thing is that you can't be throwing stones at glass houses when you're saying, hey, you're doing an interview with Vlad TV. I'm disappointed in you because Vlad TV is a bad person. But I'm like, bro, you hang out with this person. Like, you're around, you associated with this person most majority. Like, so you can't tell me, like, you can't be a hypocrite to try to say, like, you're trying to label this person as a bad person when you associated yourself with a sex offender, no matter what. Like, that's not a good look, right? Again, like his response was trash. In regards to him and Vlad going back and forth, I think what it is that Booker T was pretty deceitful of the situation because when he spoke about it, this is where I'm getting at. I think he was very deceitful because when he brought up Vlad, he was like, oh, he tried to do an interview and I turned him down. Booker T never mentioned the fact that there was an interview already set up. He agreed to do it. He was in his studio. He never mentioned that. So that's why Vlad is calling him a liar. He's like, you're a liar because you agreed to do this. That's why, and people are not looking at that. People are looking at the fact because a lot of people already don't like Vlad. They think, oh, Booker T told the truth. It's like, no, he really didn't tell the truth because he never mention the first part of the story. If Booker T was on his podcast and he literally, if he would have said, hey, I had an interview scheduled with him, things fell through, and then when I started finding out about who he is, about his reputation, I turned it down. That would have made the situation so much better.
Yeah.
Booker T did not do that. He just completely said, oh, he reached out to me and I turned it down.
He's very awkward. He doesn't know really how to like articulate and talk, or give perspective of, I guess, like the black side of things, you want to say?
Yeah. That's always been the criticism with Booker T. That's always been the criticism with Booker T in general, because there's a lot of people like, that's why there's a big dislike when it comes to that. And I think sometimes Booker T doesn't realize, like, yes, he is right when it comes to his experience or not others. He's 100% right on that. Right. But what he doesn't understand is, like, people's experiences when it comes to race. It's a real issue. And I think that he needs to focus on that. Like, he needs to understand where somebody's coming from when it comes to that. And I think you're doing it from your perspective. Look, like, take the glasses off and look at their side of the whole thing, and then understand and have them tell you what it is that they are saying. Maybe you need them to break it down, but I think he's not understanding that. Yeah, because I think
he fought way too hard to get in the house and get off the plantation.
You know what?
No, say, hey, I mean, he did. I mean, that is true.
Uncle Booker T.
But then also because remember, a couple of years ago, remember the whole thing happened with Naomi, where people were like, hey, Naomi deserves better. He was kind of against that. Like, he was just like, what do you mean she deserves better? Like, he basically kind of like criticized that whole thing. And it's just like, Booker, like, come on, bro. Like, you got to read the fucking room sometimes. It's like, what are you doing?
Remember Idris Sanofe and Malik Blade, they came out and said on social media their family doesn't watch their NXT matches with the commentary on, with the volume up, because Booker would just shit on them all the time.
He was shit on them, and then he's just awkward too. People just don't enjoy like listening to his commentary. Too, like, I mean, that's the thing. But then I did hear about that too, and I'm like, that's not a good thing. And it's just like, I think he just needs to be more self-aware of what's going on.
That's
it's
it.
like, well, like, you're like,
he lacks self-awareness.
You're an African American, and yes, you were successful in the business, but you had to you have to see what the issue is, because even with the whole PLE thing, there was another podcast too that spoke about it, and these were two white gentlemen, and they hit it on the nose when it comes to like the issues with not using Black Planet PLEs. They actually were spot on when it comes to a lot of the issues when it comes to that. Basically one of the points they did bring up, they're like, on WWE TV, you're promoting these rappers, like these rappers that, you watch, like, and it's like, you could do that, but yet when they go over there to watch the shows, you're not seeing black talent on PLEs. Like, what is that? And I know people are holding on to like, oh, Street Profits and all this stuff. People are not seeing the bigger picture when it comes to that. Like, they're not seeing. And that's part of the problem too, because people will see one thing like, oh yeah, they got the tag titles, oh, they're doing this. Hey, Naomi, Jay, they're getting a WrestleMania match. It's like, those things are fine, and that's like, you could take the right steps to that, but that's not the issue. And I think a lot of people don't see that.
Yeah, it's been 976 days since a black man won a singles match on a WWE PLE. It's been over 600 days since a black male wrestler had a singles match, competed in a singles match on a WWE PLE. Those are problems. Those are issues. And it's also an issue that there aren't a lot of black male singles wrestlers, because he groups all the black people together. There's the New Day. There's the Street Profits. You got Carmelo. He's now in a tag team with the Miz. Like, and then you got
the damn Miz.
You got prominent black male wrestlers on NXT. Wesley's been there way too long. Wesley should have been on the main roster already. Obafemi, despite his lack of experience, he's already ready to be on the main roster. Trick Williams has been ready for over a year now. Javon Evans is only 20 years old. Like, all your black male singles wrestlers are all in NXT. There are none really on the main roster other than Carmelo Hayes. And now Carmelo's being put in a tag team as well. So there's issues here that need to be addressed.
It's not a good tag team either. Especially that. Like,
He got to babysit the damn Miz.
Mello don't miss. I almost tore my ACL hearing that.
We do have a super chat donation from the homie Meet Normus. Thank you so much, Meet Normus, for the support. As always, appreciate seeing you in the chat lately. He says, when did Booker T become Samuel Jackson's character from Django? Question mark. I rarely watch NXT, and when I do, it's with the volume down. For good reason, because all he does is Chucky Ducky Quack Quack and barking at the women's matches.
Yeah, he's never been good in commentary. You know, but as far as the question goes, it's been an issue for years. It's been quite a while that people have felt that. And part of it is comments that he's made. Again, when it was when I mentioned about Naomi, this whole thing was going on with Naomi, he kind of really didn't defend her. He criticized it more than anything. Same thing with Sasha Banks. There was a situation where he criticized Sasha, which he really didn't need criticism for. It was just like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, you got to you got to help the sisters out. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was more like that. And he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that enough. And that's why it turns people off. Right. And I get it. He's in a position where he has to give his takes and all of that. Sometimes you got to see the bigger picture. And I think that's the problem with Booker T. He doesn't see the bigger picture in the situation. You can still give some of your criticisms, but then it's like, bro, like at the end of the day, you got to understand there's a lot of people that look up to you because of your background, because of what you're supposed to represent. And I think Booker T needs to see that a lot more.
Yeah, like Booker T, man. He was a great professional wrestler. He was one of my heroes growing up. Harlem Heat was like my favorite tag team growing up because I grew up in Harlem. But two things can be true. He can be a great wrestler who inspired me to be a wrestling fan and was a big part of my childhood. And he can also be an awful wrestling commentator and an awful podcast, an even worse podcaster, actually. And to correct Pirate Gyro Finisher, he says the worst, it's a tie between him and Tony Schiavone. Pat McAfee says, hold my beer to both of them. Anyway, let's finish off with the Converse with ROH TV on Honor Club. The show featured Lee Moriarty beating AR Fox in a solid main event to retain the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. The Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, Sons of Texas, defeated the Frat House thanks to a distraction from the Dark Order. Later in the show, though, the Frat House cost the Dark Order their match against the Infantry. The Outrunners picked up a win over the Premier Athletes, while the Gates of Agony defeated Dion Russman and the debuting Kyle Bloom, a.k.a. Von Wagner. Von Wagner got a job, y'all. He's back on TV. He's on Ring of Honor this week.
Went from security to a wrestler. That's great.
Nice upgrade in life, right?
And they put him on RH at that.
It's a good spot for him.
Yeah,
it was a good spot.
All right, we're done with the Converse, so we're going to head over to Japan, as this week was NJPW Sakura Genesis week. We had a Road 2 show. I believe this was on Wednesday morning, which features Shingo Takagi beating Hiroshi Tanahashi in a very good main event. Then on Friday morning, you had Junior Genesis, which featured El Desperado defeating Clark Connors in a violent, bloody, hardcore matchup to retain the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Post-match, Despy and Connors showed respect for one another with a beer and some middle fingers. Then United Empire's Templario sent a message to challenge Desperado for the junior title. Ichiban Sweet Boys beat Robbie X and Taiji Ishimori of the Bullet Club War Dogs in an excellent tag team encounter to retain the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Post-match, they were challenged by Yo and Master Wato for their next title defense. And then this morning, you had Sakura Genesis, which was another great show from New Japan Pro Wrestling, which featured Hiroki Goto defeating David Finlay in an outstanding main event matchup to retain the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. This is one to go out of your way to watch. This crowd was electric in Ryogoku Sumo Hall. Post-match, Goto challenged Shoto Umino for the NJPW Windy City Riot show this coming Friday. I swear to God, Gato, you don't learn your lesson. Why do you keep pitting Umino in these goddamn world title matches? Earlier in the show, though, Umino did pick up a victory over Hiroshi Tanahashi in a very good matchup. Post-match Shooter said that he will be the next to lead Hontai no matter what the ace says. Yota Tsuji defeated Evil in a surprisingly very strong encounter to retain the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Post-match Tsuji challenged Yuya Uemura to be his next challenger for the title. United Empire's Jeff Cobb and Callum Newman said fuck your reports and beat Los Ingobernables de Japón, Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi in a splendid bout to win the IWGP Tag Team Championships. Post-match, Jeff Cobb talked his shit by saying, I thought I was leaving. What happened, internet? Elsewhere on the event, Great Okan defeated El Fantasmo in a fun matchup to win the NJPW World Television Championship via countout, though. The first time the TV title has changed hands via countout. Of course, Great Okan would be the first to do that. So it was a great night for the United Empire, though. However, it wasn't a great night for the Bullet Club War Dogs, as House of Torture beat Drilla Maloney, Taiji Ishimori, and Gabe Kidd to retain the never openweight six-man tag team titles after Sonata turned on the War Dogs by smashing Drilla Maloney in the head with a guitar to join the House of Torture. God damn, Sonata, you faction whore. And finally, you had Konosuke Takeshita tore it up again in New Japan Pro Wrestling, defeating Roye Uyawa in an absolute banger to retain the never openweight championship. So a great show from New Japan once again, who have been, I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. New Japan Pro Wrestling has been the best promotion in pro wrestling this year. AEW has been on the up with their TV, don't get me wrong, but they still had that main event of Revolution, so that brings their points down. And WWE, like we've established over the last month of our flagship podcast, they haven't been doing the best with their creative to start off 2025, despite some of the great moments that they've produced, like John Cena's heel turn and Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. They haven't been the best creatively, especially on the road to WrestleMania 41. New Japan Pro Wrestling has really turned it around from last year, where they were kind of in the doldrums after Ospreay and Okada and Jay White left the company. They've rebuilt very well. Goto's having a great reign as IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. That's why I can't be too mad that the Boss Dog didn't win this morning. I'm not too upset about it because Goto is killing it as a champion. And the fact you got guys like Jeff Cobb, who I really feel, I will pull back the curtain. I know you didn't want to pull back the curtain with your tweet, but I will pull back the curtain on my tweet. I made a joke tweet that said Jeff Cobb legit probably signed a new contract for a couple of months just to fuck over the reports. And I said he's turning into the biggest troll in New Japan Pro Wrestling past Tetsuya Naito. And Jeff Cobb liked the tweet. So I'm not going to be surprised if this is true.
Good for you, SP.
I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, New Japan Pro Wrestling have been killing it, been smashing it. But we'll talk more about Sakura Genesis tomorrow here on the channel, as we're going to do our review of the show, myself, Sanal, and Jay News. So join us for that. That's going to be at 3:05 Eastern time tomorrow. So join us tomorrow. But some news from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Tetsuya Naito is working without a contract with NJPW currently. The former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion confirmed to Tokyo Sports that he is working as a freelancer, which is since his contract expired with the company on January 31st. The report notes that the contract talks have been on hold 3 times and that a 4th set of negotiations will be taking place soon, with Naito considering NJPW a number 1 priority. He says, I haven't decided what I'll do if I quit, but when I was younger, I thought maybe I'll retire around 40. If it's and it's true that I can't do things now that I was able to do a few years ago because my physical decline. I really feel that the time I have left is limited, and rather than continuing with some weird satisfaction. I feel like it might be better to just do the things the way I want to. I'm feeling at ease because I'm saying what I want to say. I haven't decided whether to sign or not, but I feel like, okay, I'll be in the New Japan ring for another year. I'll sign, but I'll have my doubts. So I won't, but so I want to cherish how I feel at the time. In short, tranquilo. Don't try to meditate. Don't try to mediate. Excuse me. But this was released on April 1st, so I wouldn't be surprised if Naito is trolling everybody. The report came out on April 1st in Japan, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is just an elaborate April Fool's by Tetsuya Naito.
Yeah, same. He's gonna stay anyway, so I'm not worried.
Yeah, he will. He's going to be in New Japan for a while. But finally, we'll talk about TNA. As you had TNA Impact this past Thursday, the show featured Frankie Kazarian beating Elijah after pushing Joe Hendry into his friend on the floor. Post-match, Hendry attacked Kazarian until security came out to separate the two. Hendry snapped and threw security around, trying to get his hands on Kazarian until Elijah pulled the TNA World Champion away, which caused a shoulder injury to Hendry, apparently. Later in the show, Kazarian tried to cash in his Call Your Shot gauntlet trophy to get his shot at the TNA World Championship at Rebellion. However, it was then revealed that WWE NXT's Ethan Page came out to announce that he will get the shot at the title at Rebellion, leading to a three-way matchup being announced between Hendry, Kaz, and Page. Santino Marella came out to announce that the Digital Media Championship was now defunct, and the company was introducing the TNA International Championship with the finals at Unbreakable on April 17th. Santino announced that it will be a three-way match in honor of the Unbreakable 2005 three-way with AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Christopher Daniels. The tournament will consist of three-ways to determine who will be in the finals. When Marella announced this and took the digital media title away from Steph DeLander, it led to Sami Callihan coming out to attack Mance Warner with a bat and throwing him off the stage. The Hardys defeated the Great Hands after a promo exchange between the two teams. The system teased a public firing, but every member of the group wanted to stay in the faction after being questioned by Eddie Edwards. Diener came out to try to convince Moose to turn down Edwards, but the system just jumped him instead. Tessa Blanchard picked up a victory alongside Fatal Influence, defeating Masha Slamovich, Zaya Brookside, and Li Ying Lee in a pretty good trios main event, with Tessa pinning Masha Slamovich to set up a TNA Knockouts World Championship matchup between the two at Rebellion. So TNA, I mean, there was people that was convinced that Joe Hendry was injured. Then I actually watched the show and I was like, yeah, it's a storyline.
I was convinced, and I'm not gonna lie, because it's like it was an injury. It was the injury that they said it was. What was it? A sprain?
Wrist or something like that.
A torn rotator cuff. Yeah.
I'm just like, well, why would you write that in the storyline? Like, why
hopefully hopefully they don't happen in real life.
Like, why would you write that in the storyline? You could just an injured shoulder. Like, I don't. That's just me, and that's why I believed it.
Yeah, but I watched the show and I was like, yeah, they're pushing this way too hard. And then Jeremy Lambert basically confirmed it for me, so I was like, okay, it's fine. But we've made it to Krssi Love's favorite time of the show, the best and worst of the week, match of the week, and moment of the week. Krssi, we'll start with you. Who had the best week for you this week?
John Cena.
Okay, that's fair. Josh, what about you?
The best week. I'm trying to think. Best week. I'll go with I'm gonna go with Tony Khan because of the max numbers.
I'm going with Kevin the Jet Knight for signing with AEW and Ray Phoenix for debuting in WWE.
Those are two good ones too.
That's like that. Yeah.
Worst of the week is definitely Charlotte Flair for me. Krssi Love.
Definitely Charlotte Flair, honorable mention to Stephanie Vaquer.
No, it should be Ava. Fuck Ava.
Okay, that's fair.
Or
Whichever
Booker
one.
T. Booker T is a good shout as well. Booker T is a
Booker
good
T,
shout.
yeah. Okay. But Charlotte, yes, for sure.
Josh, who you got worst of the week?
Worst of the week, I'm gonna lean with I'm gonna go with Charlotte, regardless of the other stuff I said about Booker T. Because with Booker T, I mean, there's still people who are kind of siding with him, so it doesn't make him look bad. With Charlotte, there's really no defending of what happened at debacle. Going into business for herself once again, it's not a good look, and I think it's getting to a point that, regardless of who she is, they have to do something about that. Like that shit cannot be happening with zero consequences at this point, in my opinion.
That's fair. Moment of the week, I'm gonna go with the Cody Cena promo and Gunther murdering Jimmy. Josh?
I'm gonna go with the Cody and Cena promo because both guys did very good when it comes to it. It was a great all around segment.
Krssi?
I didn't see it, but I could take you guys' words for it. No, Punk, Seth, Roman.
That's fair. That's fair as well. That was a great segment. And match of the week, I'm back to 10, guys. It was only 1 week of 5. My honorable mentions, though, ELP and Okan from Sakura Genesis and Shooter versus Tada from Sakura Genesis. Number 10, Kalani Jordan versus Roxanne Perez from NXT. Number 9, Swerve and Willow versus Mox and Marina from Dynamite. Number 8, Yoda Tsuji versus Evil from Sakura Genesis. Number 7, Los Ingonables de Japón versus United Empire from Sakura Genesis. Number 6, El Desperado versus Clark Connors from Junior Genesis. Number 5, Ichiban Sweet Boys versus Bullet Club War Dogs from Junior Genesis. Number 4, Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman, the last man standing match from SmackDown. Number 3, Tam Nakano versus Saria Noi from Stardom Nighter in Kurgan Hall. Number 2, Konosuke Takeshita versus Roye Uyawa from Sakura Genesis. And number 1, David Finlay versus Hiroki Goto from NJPW Sakura Genesis this morning. Josh?
Number 3, I'm gonna go with Strowman versus Fatu, last man standing match. That was a fun matchup, and shout out to Braun Strowman. I feel like he always delivers in these kind of like matches like this. Yeah. So shout outs to him. I mean, he when you could count on him, he's been good when it comes to that. Number 2, I'm gonna go with the mixed tag from AEW. I'm gonna go with that. And number 1, it's crazy. I just had it in my head, and I'm like, where did it go? I'm gonna go with Ray Phoenix versus Frazier because it was a fun matchup, and I said watching it the second time, I enjoyed it better the second time than I did the first time.
Braun Strowman in last man standing matches is Klay Thompson in Game 6. It's the same thing. It's the same difference. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They could be trash in Game 5. They could be trash in a regular matchup, but in their last man standing Game 6, they always deliver. Krssi, your matches of the week.
I got 5. Fatu Strowman, Storm Ford, Brody, Lance, Saints, Spears, and mixed tag is Swerve, Willow, Mox, Mina Shafiro.
Good picks there. And finally, we're going to close off the show. Rapid fire final predictions for tomorrow night's AEW Dynasty. We got a 10-match card because Tony Khan said SP3 is doing a post show with Alex Pulowski on Fightful Select. So he's going to be up till 5 a.m. before the show ends, and he'll be up till 7 a.m. finishing reviewing the show.
Oh my
Fuck you,
God.
Tony Khan. In the Owen Hart Cup, we did these predictions earlier, but let's get them in quickly here. Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe 4. We're all going for Fletcher, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Then we got Mercedes Mone versus Julia Hart. This should be good. I think we're all going for Mercedes here as well.
Correct.
Yes, that is correct.
And finally, the third Owen Hart Cup matchup, Will Ospreay versus Kevin the Jet Knight. This should open the show, in my opinion, but we all got Ospreay winning, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Now we got the matches we'll do our predictions for the Ring of Honor World Championship. It's title versus mass. Bandito challenges the Nueve, Chris Jericho. Please, dear God, let the Jericho Nightmare end. Bandito gets the win.
Please. Yes,
Krssi?
exactly. Bandito, please
Josh?
win.
Bandito.
Then we got for the TNT Championship, no time limit, no outside interference. Adam Cole challenges Daniel Garcia. I'm going with Cole here. Josh?
Same. I got Adam Cole winning.
Finally.
Krssi?
Getting it. Cole, got to get him a belt.
Finally, right? For the AEW World Tag Team Championships, the Hurt Syndicate versus the Learning Tree, Big Bill and Brian Keefe. Hurt Syndicate for me.
Hurt Syndicate.
Josh?
Champions retain.
Then we got for the AEW World Trios Championships, Rated FTR challenges the Death Riders. I'm going with Death Riders for the win, and FTR turns on Cope post-match. Krssi?
Champs retain.
Josh?
Same. I think the champions retain.
Then we got Timeless Tony Storm defending the AEW World Women's Championship against Megan Bayne. Can Bayne continue her dominance? Krssi?
No, she cannot. Champ retains.
Fair. Josh, who you got?
Tony retains.
Then we got for the I also got Timeless.
I'm about to say you didn't say yours.
I'm sorry. I think Megan Bayne dominates and Timeless Tony Storm wins with her signature move, the small package.
Yep.
AEW International Championship will be up for grabs in a three-way. Kenny Omega defends against Speedball Mike Bailey and Ricochet. I think this is going to be the match of the night, but Kenny Omega retains. Krssi?
Yeah, I would have loved for one of the other guys to probably win, but that's probably not happening. So, but yeah, Omega.
Josh?
I got Omega winning.
And in the real big toss-up of this whole entire card and what may dictate if this card is going to be great or not, Swerve Strickland challenges Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship. Please, dear God, Tony Khan, do not be a selfish prick, a selfish, self-centered prick who doesn't listen to their fans. Please have Swerve Strickland repeat history and dethrone Jon Moxley tomorrow night. Krssi?
I'm praying that the wrestling gods hear us that Swerve Strickland wins.
Josh?
I got Swerve winning.
We're all praying. We're going to do a mutual pray circle that Swerve gets the job done. We do have another super chat donation here from Chilling with Chase. Thank you so much, Chase, for the support. He says, SP3, I don't watch Ring of Honor. What's that spinner belt Athena has? That's the special belt that was made for her after she set the record for the longest reigning champion in Ring of Honor history. When she passed 645 days, she had a special spinner belt made for her. So that's the one that she walks around with. So to answer that question. We got a bunch of predictions for Dynasty. We got Annika, who's going with Fletcher and Monet. Everybody seems to be going with Osprey, if you will. We got a bunch of people going for Bandito, bunch of people going for Adam Cole. Hurt Syndicate is the favorite there. BCC or the D Riders is the favorite in the trios matchup. Everybody seems to be going with Timeless Tony Storm, the biggest small package. But Annika's switching it up, saying Moxley, but it's the beginning of the Swerve Hangman team up. So there you go.
Ooh, okay.
I think that Swerve wins, the Death Riders attack him post match, and then Hangman makes the save.
Yeah, because I think what it is too. I think a lot of fans too, they're holding on to the thing of Darby Allin, they're probably gonna wait till he. But I think Darby is not a non-fact. Like
it's been revealed in an interview with
yeah.
Denise Salcedo that Darby is climbing Mount Everest on April 15th.
Yeah, so it's like I don't think
And it
that's
takes 2 months. It takes 2 months to climb Everest. It is stupid that AEW was doing this plan, knowing that he was going to be on Everest for 2 months. So I'm not
yeah,
gonna say they were smart to do that to make
same.
this story about him, because
And then
what
also,
the fuck were
well,
they
I
expecting?
think, yeah, I think also what happened was that because I know he was supposed to do it last year, then he, broke his foot, and then obviously got pushed. He was still decided to do it, which he's incredibly insane. But that's Darby Allin. He knows what he's getting himself into, and I wish him the best when it comes to that. But I think fans are holding on to that a little too much, because I'm like, you gotta move forward. If Swerve is your best guy, obviously he's been having the best segments. He's been having the highest rated segments. You go with Swerve. He's the top star right now. Go with that guy.
Yes, for sure. But then we've made it to the end of another edition of our flagship podcast. Want to thank Krssi Love and Josh today, who were both on one, especially when we brought up Rusev. So I always appreciate y'all when y'all have some good rants, and y'all did on this show. So we'll start with Krssi Love. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media when they will see you again.
You guys will see SP and myself back again this week. We'll probably do Dark Side of the Ring and our Power review. And check out our other videos from last week. No, the week before last, excuse me. But yeah, other than that, follow me, Krssi Love _1, Tru Heel Krssi Love, and just my name.
Josh, let everybody know.
You can follow me, JM Punk 321 Instagram and Twitter. And I'll be back next Saturday for the next episode of THH.
Yes. Krssi will not be here next Saturday or the week after, but don't worry, we'll try to have like I said, a special guest on the 19th for our WrestleMania flagship podcast. We've got a special guest who might be returning to the podcast. I'll see what we can do for next week's show.
Nice.
And like I said, the 26th episode, that will be our call-in edition of the flagship. Next week, I'll ask Josh to join me for a Q&A following next week's flagship podcast. So we'll see what we can do there. So maybe it'll just be me and Josh for the flagship next week, but don't worry, guys. We'll do a Q&A as well to show some love to all of y'all for helping us hit our goals for these super chat donations. Appreciate all of y'all. Follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SB3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best way to support us when we are not live here. I will be back tomorrow at 3:05 p.m. Eastern time here on the main channel for our NJPW Sakura Genesis review with J News and Sanal. Over on the Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel, we're back with our Daredevil Born Again review. So join us for that for episode 7.
This episode
That's going to be a lot
so
of fun.
good.
I'm literally gonna watch it with Jimmy Macaram in like an hour, so I'll be up to date. I'm gonna be getting it fresh. You're getting my fresh opinion on it.
So good. Okay, great. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I swear it gets better. The weeks is getting better and better. I was like, damn.
Indeed. I'm sure it is. But thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. We appreciate all the love. And of course, one final time, everyone here at Tru Heel Heat want to send our best to Kevin Owens. Hope he's doing well. Hope everyone with the injuries are back in a speedy amount of time. But most of all, Kevin Owens, because it's going to be a while before we see him again. But hopefully we see him back in the ring one more time. But this has been Tru Heel Heat 323. Heartbreaking injuries on Rusev Day. We are signing off until next time.